Hello. Hello, friends. Am I visible? Good afternoon, Shimani. Completely audible? कोई problem तो नहीं? Any problem with the audio or anything? Done, done, done. So let us start. Let us start. So let us take a very quick glimpse. So we yesterday studied, got an idea that Buddhism is all about four noble truths. And out of them, first was definitely simple dukh. Dukh means everybody is suffering. There is suffering for everybody, and only truth that is essential is suffering. The second noble truth was Pratitya Samutpad. Pratitya Samutpad, or there is a cause of suffering. And cause of suffering means that suffering is an effect which must have a cause. And if we can find out the cause of suffering, it will become very easy for us to remove that cause and ultimately become a more happier and a peaceful person. So this was the second, and we also see that from Pratitya Samutpad came Anityavad. Anityavad is the theory of non-permanence. Then from Anityavad came Shanikvad. Shanikvad is theory of momentariness, and Shanikvad has two interpretations or two major theories within itself. One is Sanatanvad. Sanatanvad means theory of flow. Flow means we find things, things appear as permanent because they are in continuous flow. There is momentum. The things are actually composed of momentary states, but because those states are so fast moving that it appears as if it is one. So according to them, if we take anything in the world, supposedly the table you are sitting on, so that table is appearing as permanent, or it is appearing as if it is a constant thing with you. आप उसे बार बार देखते हो, रोज देखते हो, and you feel that nothing is changing. But essentially, Buddhism says that that table is actually changing very fast. And because of that fastness, it appears as if it is not changing, but it is changing. Just as electrons are moving in each atom, and those electrons and the subatomic particles it is having, everything is in a state of momentous. बहुत fast momentum है उनके अंदर, but because it is so fast, it doesn't appear as if it is a separate thing. Something similar has been said by Hume. Something similar has been said by Heraclitus, and all of these people. If you want to understand this Sanatanvad, you have to take the example of a video. So when we talk about video, what is it? So video is a collection or a fast flow of number of images. So उसमें कैसे images होती हैं? ऐसे बहुत सारी छोटे 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 ऐसे ऐसे, लेकिन ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये हाथ एकदम मूव कर, इवन अभी भी right now you are seeing the video. Actually, it is not video that is going. It is the fast images that has been transferred. So बहुत सारे, yes, FPS. So frames per second. So number of frames are being transferred, and because they are so fast, it appears कि मैं लगातार बोल रही हूँ. It appears that is ये हाथ एक साथ move कर रहा है, लेकिन असलियत में in reality it is the various moments have been captured, and each moment is a little different, and when they are run as a fast, it appears as a moment. एक movement की तरह नजर आता है कि कुछ move कर रहा है, but actually it is different states that are in. सनातनवाद के बाद the second concept we know is संघातवाद. संघातवाद is known as theory of aggregates. What is theory of aggregates? Now, in this theory, you have to understand that Buddha has never talked about any material thing or any other entity. उन्होंने कभी किसी के बारे में बात नहीं की. The only thing he talked about was that there are different dharmas, and these dharmas are changing. So now here dharma means, I yesterday told you, dharma doesn't mean religion or moral or like the Jain definition of functionality. No. Here dharma in Buddhism means qualities. So according to Buddha, there are different qualities in different things, and each of these qualities are momentary and they are completely changing. यहाँ पे उन्होंने material element की बात नहीं करी, लेकिन after some time when there is this interpretation. Hello? Hello? Ma'am, every effect is a cause in itself. Yes, we can say that. Every effect has a cause. Yes. Is there any difference between an Is it okay now? Am I audible now? Okay, I don't know how it got muted. So the idea is that Anityavad and Shanikvad are a little different. Anityavad means non-permanence. Non-permanence means things are not permanent. ये बुद्धा ने directly बोला था. ये Buddhist scriptures में directly मिलता है as the words of Buddha. But Shanikvad directly नहीं मिलता. Interpretations और commentaries में मिलता है. We find this concept of Shanikvad more in commentaries. Shanikvad means if something, Anityavad means something is not permanent. Therefore, if something is not permanent, therefore it must be temporary. Temporary means it must be momentary. So this is an interpretation, but we will have to take it. Now it has been established as a Buddhist teaching. But अगर एकदम core philosophy में जाएं तो बुद्धा ने सिर्फ अनित्यवाद के बारे में बात की थी. Buddha talked about अनित्यवाद, not directly Shanikvad. But yes, Shanikvad has been taken up as an interpretation now. जब भी हम theories में लिखेंगे, we will write Anityavad leads to Shanikvad, Shanikvad leads to understanding of Sanatanvad and Sanghatvad. Fine. So Buddha had directly talked about dharmas or qualities. Yes, all are included in second noble truth, Vinod. All are included in second noble truth. Second noble truth इतना बड़ा है, and it is the core of all Buddhist teachings. If you understand the second noble truth, logically you will be leading towards the third noble truth. And logically, if you know the third noble truth, logically you will find the fourth noble truth. Everything is linked, continuously and impeccably linked in Buddhist philosophy. Statements made by Buddha are permanent. No, Irfan. Buddha never claimed it. Never ever he claimed it. He was a very reasoned person. बहुत ज़्यादा reasonable थे. उन्होंने कभी ऐसा कोई claim नहीं किया कि मैंने जो बोला वो permanent है. Never did he claim it. He was actually against such things. He was a person who said we have to understand and we must see the problem and cure it, rather than contemplating other things like metaphysics, God, soul, etc. He said, इन सब बातों पे बात करने का क्या फायदा? Until and unless if you are in pain, the first and foremost thing is to remove that pain. So he was a very logical person, very reasoned person. The core teachings of Buddha are very useful in life and very, very scientific in their origin. Though, as we will move forward towards interpretation, you will see that Buddhism actually deteriorated, or what do you say, deviated from the core teachings of Buddha. बहुत अंतर आ गया. तो जो भी बुद्धा ने बोला उसके बाद के स्कूल्स ने उसको ऐसे इंटरप्रेट किया अपनी कन्वीनियंस के अनुसार कि भैया देखते हैं, मतलब let us interpret him according to our convenience. And that is why Buddhism has a lot of spectrums when we see in the respect of schools. Okay? So in Sanghatvad, Buddha talked about dharmas. But later, Hinayanists, हमने देखा था ना, दो schools बने थे हमारे, Hinayan और Mahayan. अभी हम डिटेल में करेंगे. तो जो Hinayan के जो फॉलोअर्स थे, उन्होंने इसको इंटरप्रेट किया कि मटेरियल चीजें होती हैं. देयर आर मटेरियल थिंग्स एंड देयर आर परमाणुस. व्हाट आर परमाणुस? Parmanus are subatomic particles. So these Hinayanist people said that there are Parmanus or subatomic particles which combine to form larger atoms, and these larger atoms again combine to form gross objects. So according to them, this pen is made up of Pramanu, which are having various dharmas, changeable dharmas. Har Pramanu, har subatomic particle, each subatomic particle is having certain qualities or dharmas which are changing in nature, which are momentary in nature. This means the nature of the subatomic particle is changing every moment. And these changeable subatomic particles come together to form atoms. These atoms are perceivable according to Buddhism. And these atoms, again, because they're pramanus, unke subatomic particles changeable hain. So overall, these atoms are also changeable or momentary. And because gross object like this pen is made up of number of innumerable atoms, therefore this gross object is also changeable. This is also existing only for a moment. So this is how Hinayanists have interpreted it. और उसके बाद हम देखेंगे जो योगाचार का इंटरप्रिटेशन है और जो महायान माध्यमिक शून्यवाद का इंटरप्रिटेशन है वो हम आपको बाद में बताऊंगी, क्योंकि अभी हमने उन स्कूल्स को किया नहीं है. वी haven't read those schools, so right now you will not be able to understand that, but we will do this interpretation. For now you have to understand that when you write Sanghatvad, you should write that Buddha believed in dharma, and later Hinayanists accepted it as Pramanu coming together to form atoms, and atoms coming together to form bodies, gross bodies, and these gross bodies are having dharmas or qualities which are changeable or momentary in nature. Statement made by are atoms qualitatively alike? No. So Buddha has never talked about atoms. Firstly, he has talked only about qualities. He has never talked about atoms. So we cannot say that Buddha ne aisa bola. But yes, for Hinayanists, all atoms are not alike. They accept 4 kinds of atoms. What are the 4 kinds of atoms? एक space, आकाश, ether जिसको हम कहते हैं, उसको निकाल दो. बाकी कितने टाइप के atoms हमारे पास होते हैं? Earth, water, fire, and air. All the 4 types of atoms they have accepted. Now, are the 4 miracles performed by Buddha part of our syllabus? No. Actually, Buddhism as a religion is not part of our syllabus, Aman. Only the philosophy. So, ma'am, Buddha never explained the non-living things. Why? He explained those things, na? So he is not saying. So dharmas, these dharma are part of everything. Qualities. Do you think the subatomic, do you think this object is not having some dharma or some qualities? It is having some qualities, right? It is elongated. It is used to write on an iPad. It has white color. All of these are what? The qualities of this pen. Is it living? No, it is not living. So anything which has qualities, anything which has dharmas, have been explained by Buddha. So therefore, he has explained. Yes, they have accepted only 4 elements like Charva. Yes, absolutely. Fine. So after this, we have seen this thing. We have read Niratmyavad, right? And Dharm Niratmya. So let us see. We are here. So when we talk about Niratmyavad means no soul theory. No soul theory means Buddhism accepts no permanent soul. Remember this. It doesn't say Buddha is not accepting any soul. Buddha is not accepting permanent soul. Fine. And with this Niratmyavad, there are 2 concepts associated with. One, Pudgal Niratmya. Pudgal Niratmya means that there is no permanent soul. इसी बात को Pudgal Niratmya भी कहते हैं. Plus Dharm Niratmya. I told you that according to Buddha, soul is having 5 types of things, right? Roop, Vedana, Sangya, Vigyan, Sanskar. All these 5 are changing. And because all of these 5 are changing, why are they changing? Because the dharma or the qualities in them are changing. There means there is no permanent eternal element or qualities in the world. कोई quality fixed नहीं है. A person may be good right now, a person may become bad in the second instant. Next moment ही वो बहुत बुरा हो सकता है. A person you admire today may not be that admirable next day. A person you dislike one day, maybe you will love that person next month. So it's like, you know, our nothing is permanent. The food you eat today, very nutritious. कल को कोई allergy develop हो जाए, the same food will become poisonous. This means no quality is fixed in anything. All the qualities are changing all the time. Therefore, even the qualities of soul or material atoms, whatever it is, they are always and always changing. एक ही बात है, उसी बात को अलग अलग तरीके से एक्सप्लेन किया जा रहा है अलग अलग टर्म्स में. इट्स नॉट समथिंग वेरी डिफरेंट और वेरी सेपरेट फ्रॉम द अर्लियर थिंग. उसी को हम लोग बार बार एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं. यस, रूप इज मैटर, व्हाट वी अंडरस्टैंड एज मैटर. रादर इसको मैटर ना कह के फॉर्म हमें समझना चाहिए, विनोद. सो फॉर्म इज एनीथिंग व्हिच टेक्स अ फॉर्म. तो हमारी बॉडी की एक फॉर्म है तो वो रूप हो गया. ये पेन की एक फॉर्म है तो ये भी एक रूप हो गया. आपके पास जो टेबल है उसकी एक फॉर्म है, दैट इज ऑल्सो फॉर्म, दैट इज ऑल्सो रूप. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द बुद्धा, द वर्ल्ड इज मेड अप ऑफ नाम रूप. नाम मीन्स वी हैव नेम्स फॉर एवरीथिंग एंड देयर इज रूप और फॉर्म. तो वर्ल्ड कैसे एक्सप्लेन होता है? नाम रूप के तरीके से. ठीक है, ये हम लोगों ने पढ़ लिया था, मिलिंद एंड नागसेन, है ना. एंड वी हैव also studied that what are the various meanings of soul in Indian philosophy. एक बार पढ़ लेते हैं. So in Indian philosophy, soul has been taken in 3 meanings. 3 meanings हैं पूरी Indian philosophy में soul को लेके. First is आत्मा और soul as a practical knower. When we say practical knower means who is thinking. वो जो आता है ना पुराना डेकार्ट वाला. If I am doubting, then who is doubting? Who? If I am eating, who is eating? So जो verbs के पीछे का जो entity है, identity है, we are talking about that. So here, this identity is known as atma or practical knower, the one who observes everything. So आपके sense organs ने देखा कुछ. अब देखने के बाद किसने देखा, किसने उसे interpret किया? Who is the coordinator behind it? That person or that practical knower has been accepted by Buddha. Buddhism has accepted in the form of consciousness or in the form of transient soul. जो ये 5 संघात मिलकर, 5 स्कंद मिलकर जो संघात बनाते हैं. तो ये जो चैरियट वाले एग्जांपल से हम देखते हैं, जो एक चैरियट बनता है, जो ये सोल बनती है, टेम्पररी सोल. This is the practical knower according to Buddhism. A second meaning has been taken in Indian philosophy as metaphysical soul. What is metaphysical soul? It is a जो हमारी वैसी वाली सोल होती है, जैसे हमारा जैनिज्म एक्सेप्ट करता है independent soul. So what does Jainism accept? That soul is separate and body is separate. पुद्गल, यहाँ पे इन्होंने मैटर के रूप में यूज किया पुद्गल, रिमेम्बर था. So soul is separate and body is separate, and soul leaves the body and migrates to a new body. Soul is a permanent eternal entity. Eternal, kabhi nahi marti soul. So soul is always there, and it survives after that to transmigrate into a new body. In this sense, Buddha has not accepted soul. Buddha के हिसाब से soul is not something independent of body or something which is eternal. They have accepted soul to be similar like body, which changes with everything. So just as body is temporary, similarly soul is also changing and temporary or momentary soul. Third interpretation of soul has been accepted as pure consciousness. Pure consciousness means the world is made up of soul. ये बात अभी समझ नहीं आएगी. We will have to study Advaita Vedanta to understand this. But this is the third interpretation where soul has been accepted as pure consciousness or Brahm, like Advaita Vedanta. In this aspect, Hinyanist Buddhism don't accept soul, but Mahayana has accepted a similar concept like this. And when we accept similar concept like this, Buddhism and Vedantin become very close. They have criticized each other like anything. बहुत एक दूसरे का criticism किया. फिर भी दोनों के अंदर बहुत similarity है. We will understand it once we do Vedanta and we will do Mahayana Buddhism. Or in this respect, we can say, yes, Mahayana Buddhism has accepted pure consciousness, but Hinyan Buddhism has not accepted. ये बात हमारे समझ में आ जाएगी जब हम ये तीनों चारों philosophies को कर लेंगे. Then you will understand what we are talking here. But yes. Huh? Ma'am, have they accepted God in any form? Rohit. No, they have not accepted God in any form. Mahayana Buddhism will accept bodhisattvas, but they are not exactly gods. एक second, रुको. If things and their qualities are continuously changing, how is there a consistent flow in reality? Because the change is very fast, like video. Because the change is very fast, it appears as if there is consistency. Navya. We know the root is not exactly matter, but it is form. Yes. But समझने के लिए आप उसे matter समझ सकते हो, but वो exactly form के रूप में उन्होंने लिया है. Here नाम means name. Yes. Name in the sense the identity. नाम मतलब सिर्फ नाम नहीं, identity. Example, my feelings, my cognition, my sanskar, and my consciousness together form my name. Name means identity. मैं कौन हूँ? बॉडी से अलग अगर मेरे को देखने की हम कोशिश भी करें तो एक तो बॉडी हो गई, रूप, फॉर्म दैट आई हैव. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट माय फीलिंग्स, माय कॉग्निशन एंड माय संस्कार और ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स टुगेदर कैन बी नेम्ड एज मी, तनु. सो दिस नाम रूप इज द आइडेंटिटी ऑफ अ पर्सन. Ma'am, why there is two different terms, Niratmavad and Anatmavad for no soul? Is there any difference? No, there is no difference. Different names, just different names. है ना? निरात्म means nir atmavad. Nir मतलब no, atma vad. And anatmavad means means no, atma means soul, vad. So different ways of talking in Hindi, different words, but same meaning. Ma'am, have they accepted God in form? No. So Buddha said that if we die, our soul also dies. Soul is continuously changing. It's not dying or anything. It's continuously changing, and yes, when we die, the soul also goes away. Die नहीं बोला बुद्धा ने, इसलिए will not use the word die. We will say it goes away. Just like a flame blows off, जैसे जो हमने दिया जलाया था, उसको फूंक मार दी, और उस फूंक के बाद वो जो फ्लेम थी वो कहाँ गई? कहाँ गई वो फ्लेम? हेवन में गई क्या? नहीं. हेल में गई क्या? नहीं. कहाँ गई वो फ्लेम? वो चली गई, बस खत्म. Similarly, Buddha has accepted when our nirvana happens, soul goes away. और जब तक वो निर्वाण नहीं प्राप्त करेगी तब तक क्या होगा? जो हमारे संस्कार हैं from that soul. So soul is made up of 5 objects, 5 things, and from that this sanskar will travel and go to the new body. वो न्यू सोल पे जाके इम्प्रिंट हो जाएंगे. तो हम सोल को मरना नहीं बोलेंगे, बिकॉज इफ वी से सोल आल्सो डाइज अलोंग विद द बॉडी, इट विल बी टॉकिंग, इट विल अपीयर एज इफ वी आर टॉकिंग इन द टर्म्स ऑफ चारवाक, बट इट्स नॉट चारवाक. इट इज सेइंग कि वो भी मोमेंटरी है, और जैसे ही बॉडी गई वो भी गई, लेकिन कहाँ गई नहीं पता. Man, because at the same time it's not saying permanent and saying that the soul is eternal. Who is saying soul is eternal? Buddha. No, Buddha didn't say. Mahayana Buddhism. Yes, Mahayana. अभी मैंने बताया ना. After Buddha died, his message was interpreted in very different ways. And Mahayana Buddhism के अंदर जो माध्यमिक शून्यवाद है, उन्होंने बुद्धा की थ्योरी को तो बिल्कुल पलट के रख दिया. They overturned the Buddha's theory completely. Buddha has said soul is temporary, and this madhyamik shunyavad will make it look like very close to Vedantin soul. तो बहुत अंतर आ जाएगा. That is why. So that is why we have to understand the schools. जब हम schools करेंगे, you will understand. अभी के लिए आप सिर्फ बुद्धा की थ्योरी के हिसाब से समझो. According to Buddha, soul is temporary. बस. Fine. Consciousness ends with death. When you say soul has pure consciousness, so pure consciousness वाला concept सिर्फ और सिर्फ माध्यमिक शून्यवाद accept करेंगे. Fine. महायान बुद्धिज्म एक्सेप्ट करेगा, वो स्कूल्स में आ जाएगा. बट यस, उन्होंने बात करी है, दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव टू टेल यू. मैम, इज प्रैक्टिकल नोअर सेम एज चारवाक? नो, not exactly. So Charvak has also talked about consciousness, but practical knower will be accepted by all. Even science accepts practical knower. You know, they also accept it. Practical knower is who is talking. So even if I'm talking, who is talking? There must be something which is talking in me. And if you are listening, then who is listening? The who, the identity part. That is practical knower. Ma'am, is Sanatanvad of Buddhism and Sanatan Dharma same? No, absolutely not, Anamika. Sanatan Dharma is a separate Vedantic Hindu philosophy, and Sanatan Vad is the theory of flow accepted by Buddhism. Very different. But only thing that is common is the continuity part. So according to Hindu philosophy, Sanatan Dharma means there is a continuity in dharma or religion, whereas Sanatan Vad is that there is a continuity of momentary states. Ma'am, in non-living things, how we can explain Vedana, Vigyan and Sanskar? No, in non-living things, there is no Vedana, Vigyan or Sanskar. It's part of living things. But non-living things will have roop or form. So this pen has a form, it will be a roop, but it will not have Vedana, Sanskar. They have accepted like this. So is this their concept of rebirth? Yes, Ashutosh. It is their concept of rebirth. एक बार हम अलग से भी करेंगे. We will do it separately also. But yes, if you have understood correctly. In bonded person, दिया जलता रहेगा. बिल्कुल. Yes, perfect Vinod. In bonded person, the flame will go on and on. So from one flame, next flame, next flame, next flame will be जब तक इंसान bonded state में रहेगा. Till the time a person is in bonded state, the flame will light another flame, will light another flame. This means the rebirth will keep happening. But the moment a person gets nirvana, it is like blowing off. आपने उस flame को फूक मार दी. And now the flame is gone forever. There is no, अब बुझी हुई दिए से आप कुछ जला सकते हो क्या? नहीं जला सकते. This is the concept of nirvana according to Buddhism. So till the time there is this attachment in us, we will have next birth, next birth, next birth, next birth. But if this flame of attachment, if this clingingness is gone, there is no flame left to give rebirth. तो flame ही नहीं है तो rebirth भी नहीं होगा. It's gone. आपको निर्वाण मिल गया. This is the Hinayanist interpretation of or Buddhist interpretation of nirvana. Okay. Yes. So let us continue. ये वाला हमने देख लिया सोल. अब बुद्धा इतने अगेंस्ट क्यों थे सोल के लिए, परमानेंट सोल के लिए? बुद्धा said that people are actually so much concerned about this atma thing. They are so much concerned about eternal soul that they even avoid tending to their suffering. वो अपनी suffering की चिंता भी नहीं कर रहे. क्यों नहीं कर रहे? क्योंकि उनको लग रहा है उनकी आत्मा तो अजर अमर है. They have this eternal soul which they need to protect in the sense, अब इस आत्मा के लिए उनको अच्छे कर्म करने हैं, उनको कर्म कांड करने हैं, उनको यज्ञ करने हैं, बिकॉज आत्मा की शुद्धि करनी है and all those things. Buddha says, have you seen this atma anywhere? Have you seen this atma? No. Can you measure this atma? No. How do you know there is atma? Now people are not able to answer. So Buddha says, it is like you are loving a lady. You are loving a lady जिसको किसी ने देखा ही नहीं है, जिसको किसी ने सुना ही नहीं है. Nobody has seen or heard about that person. But you are madly in love with that person. Similarly, the love for soul is something like this. Nobody has seen soul. Nobody knows about soul. Nobody is exactly sure if there is a permanent soul or not. But everybody is mad about their soul. So it is like loving someone who is not, we don't even know if it exists or not. So I think सोल के पीछे भागना बंद करो, क्योंकि सोल क्या है, बुद्धा ने क्या बना दिया सोल को, परमानेंट की जगह टेम्पररी. Another example, another analogy he gives, he says that searching for permanent soul की जो search है वो कैसी है? It is like searching a black cat in a black room where there is no cat at all. तो उन्होंने एक काली बिल्ली को हम अंधेरे कमरे में ढूंढ रहे हैं, अंधेरे कमरे में काली बिल्ली दिखेगी क्या? नहीं दिखेगी. और ऊपर से वहां पे बिल्ली है भी नहीं. हम एक बिल्ली ढूंढ रहे हैं, हम एक बिल्ली, we are searching for a cat which we know is a black color and we are searching in a dark room, but actually there is no billy, no cat there, but we are frantically searching. हाँ होगी just on the basis of our हमें ऐसा लगता है कि होनी चाहिए इसलिए. So that is why he rejects the concept of permanent soul. Another analogy he gives, very interesting one. He says to try to search for a permanent soul is like building a ladder to reach the building which does not exist. Building है ही नहीं, लेकिन हम एक सीढ़ी बना रहे हैं कर्म कांड की, अच्छे कर्मों की, इसकी उसकी. क्यों बना रहे हैं? To reach at the top, but there is no building at all. Building ही नहीं है तो top कहाँ पे? आपको पता ही नहीं कितनी लंबी बनानी पड़ेगी. Is there any measurement? No. So with these examples, you can use these examples in your answers wherever you can use them. So with this, Buddha has rejected the concept of permanent soul. No, Atul, this concept is not similar to Charvak. Charvak says there is no soul. The body with consciousness itself is soul. Buddha says soul is made up of 5 skandhas, and all of these 5 skandhas are momentary and changing. Therefore, soul is also momentary and changing. दोनों arguments में बहुत अंतर है. You have to understand that. Now, with this, we come to the concept of Anitya Atmavad. We have understood that correct interpretation of Buddha is Anitya Atmavad. अब हम दोनों के बीच में difference देख लेते हैं. चारवाक ने बोला था बॉडी प्लस कॉन्शियसनेस इज इक्वल टू सोल. देह आत्मावाद, देह आत्मावाद, देह ही आत्मा है. बुद्धा ने क्या बोला? सोल और आत्मा इज टेम्पररी और चेंजिंग. whereas Vedant accepts जीव और जीवात्मा as permanent, something which is permanent. अभी हम इसको इतना ही समझेंगे. ये जो हमारा बोधि और भ्रम है इसको हम निर्वाण के टाइम पे समझेंगे. We will be understanding it at the time of nirvana. Then how did he explain rebirth? I will tell you now. So if we understand and if we try to see the criticism of Pratitya Samutpad. Now before we see that, can you tell me any criticism of Pratitya Samutpad जो बुद्धा ने बताया? Anyone? Can you think of any criticism that Buddha had regarding Pratitya Samutpad? Yes, very good. Irfan, it stopped at Vidya. Avidya, not Vidya, Avidya. It stopped at Avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance का तो proper कोई cause बताया ही नहीं गया, है ना? Beginningless ignorance कर दिया उसको. Yes, Mayank, very good. There can be many causes, but it takes only some causes into consideration. Now, Buddha has never given these exact, like Buddha has always said, there can be many causes. These are the major causes. Yes, there can be many more aspects. Yes, fine. Any other thing? Okay, let us see. So, the first criticism of Pratitya Samutpad is why only 12 links? These, if we try to explain, we can add more or we can subtract few. Why only 12? This has been a criticism of Pratitya Samutpad. Secondly, why Buddha stopped at avidya? And he did not try to find the causes of avidya or ignorance. Kept mum regarding metaphysical aspect, fine. This is both the positive and the negative. Because why he kept mum? Because he wanted to focus on suffering or the solution part. But yes, because of his silence, numerous schools erupted. अब उन्होंने कुछ बोला नहीं तो लोगों ने उनकी साइलेंस को अपने हिसाब से इंटरप्रेट कर लिया, अपने हिसाब से इंटरप्रिटेशन से बुद्धिज्म बिकम डाइल्यूटेड. कोई कहता है बुद्धिज्म ये है, कोई कहता है बुद्धिज्म वो है, किसी को नहीं पता एग्जैक्टली क्यों, क्योंकि बुद्धा वाज साइलेंट ओवर दीज इश्यूज. मैम, संस्कार, हाउ दे ट्रेवल विदाउट सोल व्हिच इज नॉट परमानेंट. यस, वेरी गुड निकिता. नाउ दिस मींस still there is something traveling if you are not saying soul, but there is something which is traveling from past birth to the present birth or from the present birth to the future birth. अब वो जो चीज है वो क्या जो ट्रैवल कर रही है, ठीक है, वो सोल नहीं है तो क्या है, संस्कार. दिस मीन्स अगर सोल परमानेंट नहीं है तो क्या चीज परमानेंट है, संस्कार परमानेंट हो गए, है ना, कुछ तो परमानेंट हो ही गया ना, कुछ तो ट्रैवल कर ही रहा है. Isn't it like a backdoor entry of soul itself? Yes. Now opponents also point out that द्वादश निदान मतलब ये जो 12 लिंक्स वाली हमारी प्रतीक्षा समुत्पाद की चेयर है, इसी को द्वादश निदान भी बोलते हैं, is nothing new or original idea, rather it is only a copy of Brahma Chakra given in Upanishad. So in Upanishad also similar Brahma Chakra is also given. So the criticizers say बुद्धा ने वहां से कॉपी कर लिया है. Yes, Irfan. After death, Roop disintegrates, so does all these kandhas, except संस्कार, which travel to a new विज्ञान, new consciousness के पास वो चले जाते हैं. Fine. So these are the criticisms of Pratitya Samutpad. And what are the criticisms of Kshanikvad? Kshanikvad की criticisms बड़े interesting criticisms हैं. They are made on a very logical basis. बड़े लॉजिकल बेसिस पे इन्होंने क्रिटिसिज्म करे हैं बुद्धिस्ट के अगेंस्ट. So now Kshanikvad means there is one criticism that is written, few other are written in your printed notes. आपको जो हमें printed notes दूंगी उसमें बाकी लिखे हुए हैं, because it is like कि बहुत लंबे लंबे थे तो हमने सोचा इसमें क्यों लिखे, वहां पे से आप देख के लिख सकते हो. ठीक है. The criticism of Kshanikvad one is, but you understand now, when you say a thing or anything exists only for a moment, एक ही moment के लिए exist करती है, एक moment, fine. Now, if it exists only for a moment, is it a cause moment, existing moment, or effect moment? मतलब अगर चीज एक ही मोमेंट में एक्सप्लेन, एक ही मोमेंट में एग्जिस्ट करती है तो वो उस समय पे कॉज है या एग्जिस्ट कर रही है या फिर वो इफेक्ट है. कंफ्यूजन. किसी भी चीज के लिए कॉज और इफेक्ट की चेन में फिट होने के लिए उसको एटलीस्ट 3 मोमेंट्स तो चाहिए, एटलीस्ट 3 मोमेंट्स चाहिए. पहले मोमेंट में वो कॉज होगा, और इन फर्स्ट मोमेंट इट विल कॉज, इन सेकेंड मोमेंट इट विल एग्जिस्ट, इन थर्ड मोमेंट it will give effect. No, nothing is instantaneous, Arpita. So instant कोई तो उन्होंने ले लिया. Each one means each instant. Fine. Now there is another. This means that at least 3 moments are required for anything to be in the chain of cause and effect. But Buddhism has accepted only momentariness, that a thing exists only for a moment. Problematic. नहीं समझ में आई उनके बात कि एग्जैक्टली कैसे ये वर्क करेगा. उन्होंने दे दी थ्योरी लेकिन उन्हें समझ नहीं आया कि एग्जैक्टली वर्क कैसे करेगा. सेकेंडली, क्षण मीन्स वन 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 इंस्टेंट, एकदम एकदम छोटा सा एक इंस्टेंट, उसी को हम लोग क्षण कह रहे हैं. लेकिन ये जो क्षण है, अगेन अगेन इट इज लाइक, क्या ये फुली डेवलप्ड क्षण है, मतलब दिस थिंग डेवलप्स फुली इन दिस, और ये दूसरे इफेक्ट को, दूसरी स्टेट को कॉज करता है और खत्म हो जाता है, या फिर ये रहता है और यहाँ पे दूसरी स्टेट भी रहती है. समथिंग लाइक द कंफ्यूजन वी हैव रिगार्डिंग quantum. So if you know quantum, then you will understand it better. In quantum, there is yes, Harshdeep. So it is more like a logical reasoning wala criticism. It is not exactly what it's not a philosophical criticism. It is a logical criticism. Now they are actually बाल की खाल उतार रहे हैं. क्या कर रहे हैं वो लोग उनके वन मोमेंट वाली थ्योरी, क्षणिकवाद वाली जो थ्योरी है, उसमें से जो क्षण वाला कॉन्सेप्ट है, वन मोमेंट वाला जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, उसको लेकर दे आर ट्राइंग टू से दैट a thing cannot exist only for a moment. It must exist for either 3 moments. If you say it is a cause, exist and effect thing, या फिर it can exist at least in two moments. कोई भी चीज एक मोमेंट के लिए एग्जिस्ट कर ही नहीं सकती. This is what the criticizers are trying to highlight. वो ये दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ये क्षणिकवाद गलती है, पॉसिबल ही नहीं है लॉजिकली. एंड if you, any one of you is interested in science, this criticism holds good if you know a little about quantum mechanics or quantum atomism rather. जो क्वांटम इंटेंगलमेंट का कॉन्सेप्ट है वो बहुत सिमिलर है इस चीज से. Okay, it's not required for us to understand all this because ultimately we just have to criticize क्षणिकवाद and not do anything. मतलब हमें डीप एनालिसिस करने की जरूरत है, हमारे आंसर्स में जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. Just for your understanding, I am giving you the reference of science. Ma'am, at the same time, I think possesses different qualities, so cannot perform the functions of being caused, causing an effect at the same time. Very good, Navdeep. Absolutely. First moment sanskar, second moment life, third moment liberation. Not exactly, Navneet, not this. Ma'am, critics be on ethical conduct. Like excessive focus on personal enlightenment could distract individuals from ethical aspects, leading to self-centered approach of it. Why? So the criticism that has been done is more logical in nature in philosophy, right? So Vanshika, we don't have to think about all these things. Shanikvad fails to explain sanskar. Yes, we can say that, Ashutosh. Do we have to write the same criticism of Syadvad in Karma, Liberation and Anikantvad? हाँ, ये तो जैनिज्म का क्वेश्चन हो गया ना, आपने जो पूछा पाने का. नो, Syadvad के सेपरेट क्रिटिसिज्म लिखवाए हैं हमने आपको, आप उन्हें यूज करें. Had Buddha defined Shan, Buddha might have considered these 3 moments as one. Yes, Atul, we don't know because Buddha, I told you now, we don't have anything, the original content or writing or original words of Buddha. We don't have. Whatever we have, no, but whatever we know about Buddha is from the books written by his disciples, those people who might have heard Buddha. But again, saying something and being heard and saying something is a little different, है ना. एक ये है जो मैं आपको क्लास में पढ़ा रही हूँ, तो एक बच्चा मेरी क्लास को सुन रहा है और एक आप अपने दोस्त को जाके समझा रहे हो, तो उसमें जो थोड़ा बहुत अंतर आएगा ना, वही अंतर हमें बुद्धा की थ्योरी में मिलता है. बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव ओरिजिनल कंटेंट ऑफ बुद्धा. Whatever his disciples understood from the words of Buddha and wrote it, we know about Buddha from there. हमें ओरिजिनल नहीं पता, लेकिन जो उन्होंने लिखा उसमें से जो उन्होंने बुद्धा की वाणी कही, this means whatever they have ascribed directly to Buddha makes real sense. But the interpretations thereafter, they are controversial. No, they are controversial. The Shan has not been defined, but it has been defined as the smallest unit of time. The smallest unit of time which can be no further divided. तो क्षण को उन्होंने बिल्कुल स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट रखा है। ओके, ठीक है। नाउ अष्टांगिक मार्ग, देयर आर सर्टेन प्रिंटेड नोट्स में है हमारे, और वो मैं आपको दिलवा दूंगी। दे आर नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट, दे आर लाइक वेरी वेरी यूजुअल टाइप्स। एक दो ही पॉइंट्स और हैं, इसमें ऐसा कुछ खास है नहीं। नाउ लेट अस टॉक अबाउट अष्टांगिक मार्ग। अभी तक हमने देखा फर्स्ट नोबल ट्रुथ, सेकंड नोबल ट्रुथ, प्रकृति समुत्पाद, अनित्यवाद, क्षणिकवाद, सनातनवाद, संघातवाद, और ये सारी बातें करते हुए हमने देखा क्षणिकवाद कैन ऑल्सो बी इंटरप्रेटेड एज पुद्गल और निरात्म्यवाद। जो जो क्षणिकवाद के बाद हमारा अनात्मवाद था, इट कैन बी इंटरप्रेटेड एज पुद्गल निरात्म्य और धर्म निरात्म्य। ये सारी बात हमने कर ली। नाउ लेट अस ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड बॉन्डेज। हमें समझ में आ गया, व्हाट इज द कॉज ऑफ बॉन्डेज? इग्नोरेंस एंड अटैचमेंट। एंड अटैचमेंट टू व्हाट? अटैचमेंट टू सेंसुअल प्लेजर्स। कुछ 12 लिंक्स था इसमें, थे ना अंत में। So attachment to sensual pleasures, attachment to things, attachment to people, attachment to this and that. This means if you remove the attachment, if you remove the ignorance, ignorance के कारण ही तो attachment है, because we feel things are permanent. We love somebody because we feel that that person will remain with us for a long time or for permanently. That is why अगर हमें पता हो कि 2 घंटे बाद हम इस व्यक्ति से अलग हो जाएंगे, will you form attachment to that person? अगर आपको पता है तो, ना? You meet so many people on trains, on metros, on your way. Do you fall in love or do you become attached to these people? No. Why don't you do it? Because you know after this you will never meet. After this there is no point. If somebody hands over their phone, कि पकड़ो मैं 1 मिनट में आई, या you know, just hold it for me. Do you become attached to that phone or that expensive thing? No. Why? Because you know you will have to return it. This is not permanently with you. So this means that if you know that things, people, everything around you is temporary, you will not get attached. This means bondage was because of ignorance and attachment. and attachment. And if you remove ignorance and attachment, bondage will go, and you will become liberated. रास्ता क्या है? Third noble truth. So we come to the third noble truth. What is the third noble truth? Dukh Nirodh. Dukh Nirodh means that because suffering was an effect and suffering was due to attachment and ignorance. तो अगर हम cause को हटा दें, if we remove the cause, will there be effect? No. So effect is also gone. If you throw away the milk, will there be curd? No. This means we have to just focus on this area. We just have to remove the cause. Effect, that is suffering, will go itself. कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा. Directly it will go. अपने आप चली जाएगी. Now we have to focus on this. For this, he gives his fourth noble truth. He says there is a way. There is a way to remove suffering. To remove suffering means to remove attachment and ignorance. अब ignorance को हटाने का और attachment को हटाने का एक तरीका है. Even if we study Buddhism, have your attachment gone? No, just by knowing it doesn't go. You have to practice it. You have to make this feeling inculcate in your deep thoughts. आपके अंदर तक ये बात चली जानी चाहिए कि चीजें परमानेंट नहीं, चीजें temporary, everything is temporary. And only when you start realizing that things are temporary, to know things are temporary, differently, to realize that things are temporary, when you start realizing it, you become less attached, you become less ignorant, and you become more close to liberation. And what is the way shown by Buddha? The way shown by Buddha is known as Ashtangik Marg. अब हम अष्टांगिक मार्ग को देखते हैं, एक एक को डिस्कस करेंगे. अष्टांगिक मार्ग. फर्स्ट अष्टांगिक मार्ग मीन्स 8-fold path. 8 steps हैं, 8 steps are there. First step is सम्यक दृष्टि. सम्यक दृष्टि मीन सम्यक मतलब राइट. हमने देखा था जैनिज्म में भी था सम्यक, है ना. सम्यक दृष्टि मतलब राइट व्यू और राइट फेथ. Right view. What is the right view according to Buddhism? Of course, Buddhist theory. What is the Buddhist theory? Four Noble Truths and Prakriti Samutpad. You remember in the starting when we were writing notes, we wrote or we read, whoever knows Prakriti Samutpad knows the Dharma, and whoever knows Dharma knows the reality and knows the liberation. This means that if you understand everything is linked to a causal chain and everything is not permanent, everything is momentary, there will be no attachment. And just by knowing or realizing the Prakriti Samutpad, we are on the path of liberation. So first step is to understand what are the four noble truths and what is Prakriti Samutpad. First step. Second step is Samyak Sankalp. Samyak Sankalp means right resolve, right firm determination. Firm determination. Even if you know four noble truths according to Buddha, or you know or you understand what is Prakriti Samutpad, still it requires firm determination to follow it. It is very difficult to see or understand that things are temporary because हमारा मन करता है कि हम चीजों में permanence ढूंढें. This is what we want because permanence gives us peace. Permanence gives us solace. Permanence gives us a security. And if things are temporary, the security is gone. Therefore, we need firm determination to see the reality. बहुत सारे लोग सच इसलिए नहीं सुनना चाहते क्योंकि उनको पता है it's painful. But ultimately, सच सच रहता है. The truth is truth. That is why Buddha here is seeking the second step as Samyak Sankalp or right resolve. That even if you know Prakriti Samutpad and the Four Noble Truths, you must be ready. You must have firm determination or courage to follow. Third, Samyak Vak. Samyak Vak means Samyak speech. Vak matlab speech. Samyak matlab right speech. You should be very consistent in your talks. Very consistent in the sense आप झूठ नहीं बोलो. You should not lie. You should not be unkind to other people. You should not be blabbering mindlessly. आप फालतू बातें करोगे. आप जितनी फालतू बातें करोगे उतना आपका डिटर्मिनेशन कम होता जाएगा. उतना ज्यादा आप चीजों से अटैच होते जाओगे अकॉर्डिंग टू बुद्धा. This means that you have to control your speech. Speak whatever is required and speak nicely, politely, and without lying. That is, speak the truth. Because if you are speaking the truth, you don't have to remember. अगर आप सच बोल रहे हो तो आपको याद करके रखने की जरूरत नहीं है उसको क्या बोला था, उसको क्या बोला था, उसको क्या बोला था. And if your mind is at peace, you can have spiritual learnings. But if your mind is busy in doing calculations, busy doing remembering कि मैंने उसको क्या बोला था, what I have told that person, what lie I have told that person, what lie I have told to this person. If your mind is occupied in just calculating the lies you have told or wrong things that you have said, then your mind is not at peace. And if your mind is not at peace, will you be able to do meditation? No, you will not be able to do meditation. Therefore, Buddha says the third step is right speech. Speak truthfully, speak politely, and speak relevant words. जो जरूरत के words हैं उतने ही बोलने. Fourth is सम्यक कर्मंता. सम्यक कर्मंता means right conduct. Views right हो गए, speech right हो गई. Third thing which needs to be get corrected is conduct. Conduct means आपका actions, आपके actions भी सही होने चाहिए. एकदम measured actions होने चाहिए. आलतू फालतू actions करेंगे, again, if you are mindlessly doing things, this means you are completely engaged in mindless activities. And if you are engaged in mindless activities, again आपका mind spirituality meditation के लिए तो ready नहीं हो पाएगा. तो इसी के लिए fourth step क्या है? You should be having right conduct. This means you should follow ahimsa. Ahimsa means should not kill anybody or hurt or harm anybody. You should not steal from any other person, because if you have stolen something from other person, your mind will remain मैंने उससे सामान लिया, उसको दिख ना जाए, उसको पता ना चल जाए, किसी और को पता ना चल जाए, nobody should know that I have stolen. Similarly with the killing and hurting, your mind will be in guilt. I have hurt that person. Will that person come for revenge? Will this happen? If you lie, same thing. Intoxication. If a person is addicted to some kind of an intoxication, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, or any such thing, in their mind they are always seeking that thing. मेडिटेशन करने जा रहे हैं, उससे पहले उनका क्या मन करेगा? चलो ये नशा कर लेते हैं. So all these things will prevent you from looking at the truth. All these things will prevent you to seek the spiritual journey you are in. Therefore, Buddha says, fourth step is right conduct. You should perform, conduct, or you should do actions which should be in the lines of ahimsa, haste, truthfulness, and non-intoxication. This means आपको नशा भी नहीं करना चाहिए. 4 steps. It is very similar to the Panchi, or what do you say, the 5 vows or Mahavrats of Jainism. Then 5th is Samyak Ajivika. Samyak Ajivika means right livelihood. Right livelihood. You should earn your money by honest means. Because if you use dishonest means, if you are a gangster, will you be able to do meditation? No, because always there is a trouble going on in your head. क्या 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 हो, कुछ गलत ना हो जाए, मेरे को ईडी ना पकड़ ले, मुझे पुलिस ना पकड़ ले, and all those things. This means that if your mind will be at peace only when you have right livelihood, when you earn through honest means. If you have worked for this month 100 rupees, then take 100 rupees. Do not demand 1000 rupees. This is the honesty of livelihood that Buddha says. Honest means से आप अपनी livelihood को करें. So where we can use this Samyak Ajivika of Buddhism in ethics paper corruption. So whenever you are saying, you are writing an answer about corruption, mention that Indian philosophical system of Buddhism also talks about Samyak Ajivika, that one should earn their livelihood by honest means. Okay. Then Samyak Vyayam. Samyak Vyayam means नव्याम. राइट कंडक्ट इंक्लूड निष्काम कर्म. यस ऑफ कोर्स. अटैचमेंट चला जाएगा तो वो निष्काम ही हो जाएगा, है ना? निष्काम कर्म ही हो जाएगा अल्टीमेटली. सम्यक व्यायाम. व्यायाम मीन्स राइट एफर्ट. कांस्टेंट एफर्ट रहना चाहिए इन सब चीजों के प्रति. दिस मीन्स टू say the truth, to speak truth is not easy. Buddha knows it. To follow honest means of livelihood, not easy. है ना? When all your friends are doing corruption and all the officers you see are doing corruption, it is very difficult to remain honest. But ultimately, one should remain honest. Why? सम्यक व्यायाम. There is a requirement of efforts. मतलब आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी honest बने रहने के लिए. आपको सच बोलने के लिए मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. You will have to have that effort. सम्यक व्यायाम, or right effort, which is required constantly remember things are temporary, therefore I'm not attached. Because I'm not attached, I'm not going to tell lie. This means, but लोग झूठ क्यों बोलते हैं? पैसा कमाने के लिए. लेकिन पैसा तो टेम्पररी है. पैसा किसके लिए कमा रहे हैं? फैमिली के लिए. लेकिन फैमिली तो टेम्पररी है. This means if you remember, if you put an effort to remember these teachings always, you are on the right path. Then 7th is Samyak Smriti. Samyak Smriti means right mindfulness. This means that we should be constantly remembering the impermanence or temporariness of the world. हर वक्त आपके दिमाग में ये रहना चाहिए कि चीजें तो टेम्पररी हैं. किससे आसक्ति लगाऊं? आपके पास एक व्यक्ति आए और कुछ मतलब आपसे डिमांड करने लगे. आपको अगर पता है चीजें टेम्पररी हैं तो आप अटैच ही नहीं है चीजों से. एक व्यक्ति आया. So one person came to Buddha and he actually took away all the belongings of Buddha. Buddha, we did not have a lot of belongings, but whatever he was having, a small kamandal and a small thing, the person took it away. And at last, that person also took away the alms bowl. जिसमें वो खाना लेते थे, बुद्धा खाना लेते थे, वो भी लेके चला गया. Now the disciples, जो उनके students थे बुद्धा के, they were angry. They said, Buddha, you did not even stop that person from taking this bowl. How will you eat now? How you will go and ask for food? Buddha was smiling. Buddha said, this is what now? The ball was temporary. Now it is gone. It doesn't mean anything. I was not attached to that ball. And if you're not attached, you are peaceful. If there is ball, you are peaceful. If the ball is gone, you are peaceful. You are not attached. Had he problem कहाँ से शुरू होती है? When we start understanding things, ये मेरा है. जैसे ही आपने मेरा शब्द बोला ना, the moment you said मेरा है, attachment means suffering. क्योंकि आपका है तो कोई ले नहीं सकता, कोई उसको डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं कर सकता, और कोई और ले लेगा तो you will be in pain. So all the suffering starts at attachment. But if the attachment is gone, everything is gone. And how will you not get attached? If you have right mindfulness. Constantly, whatever you are seeing, whatever you are doing, you are keeping the mindset that everything is temporary and impermanent. कुछ permanent है ही नहीं, तो attachment होगी नहीं. And at last, to consolidate all your learnings, आपने सारी 7 rules follow करे, है ना? You have kept impermanence and temporariness in your mind. Now you must concentrate on this. सिर्फ और सिर्फ इसको remember करने से कुछ नहीं होगा. The realization, the internal realization has to happen to understand, to accept that everything is temporary. For this, the 8th path, the 8th step is very important. That is right concentration. सम्यक समाधि. सम्यक समाधि के अंदर भी 4 stages हैं. कौन सी 4 stages हैं? First stage, reasoning and investigation regarding it. Now, Buddha was a person who never said, whatever I have said, you should follow. कभी नहीं कहा. Buddha did not say one time that whatever I have found is truth and you all should follow. No, Buddha said, this is what I have found. This has helped me overcome my suffering. I have told you, you can also investigate yourself. And if you find it right, then you can also remove your suffering. उन्होंने कभी नहीं कहा, कभी force नहीं किया. इसीलिए the first step of Samyak Samadhi Buddha has kept is reasoning and investigation regarding truth. Buddha says, reason yourself, investigate. Don't trust me. Don't trust anyone. You yourself sit, reason and investigate. What is the truth? Sach kya hai? And once you have reached the truth, according to Buddha, where will you reach? You will also reach to the non-permanence or temporariness of the things. The moment you see that everything is temporary, you feel a joy of tranquility. Joy of tranquility, why? Because now you are not attached. आप किसी भी चीज से attached नहीं है, तो आपको डर ही नहीं है कि वो चीज चली जाएगी. You are out of fear, and when you are out of fear, you feel that tranquility. Tranquility is a emotion which is एकदम शांत मन. And third, but still there is an attachment to this peacefulness that you are feeling. एक peacefulness की feeling आ रही है ना, खुशी की, हाँ मेरा तो कुछ नहीं है, सब कुछ temporary. इस feeling के साथ भी इंसान को attachment हो जाती है. Now third step is detachment from even the joy of tranquility. You have to remove this peace, this tranquility itself. इसको भी detach हो जाओ. And the moment you detach from this tranquility itself, you reach the stage of nirvana. And nirvana is a stage where nothing affects you. Nothing. Good, bad, love, hate, praises, abuses, nothing impacts you. You are stable. You are in complete wisdom. So you understand why things are happening, what things are happening, why people are behaving like this, all of this. And the moment you understand the reality that everything is changing because of their own nature, and everything is related in a concept, in a chain of cause and effect. सब चीजें cause and effect है, सब चीजें cause and effect है, सब चीजें. This means as a person who is behaving very badly with you, there must be a cause. If you search the cause, maybe that person was abused in the childhood. Now, why he was abused in the childhood? Because the mother was or the father was not having proper money, or they were also in trouble. Why were they having trouble? Because their parents were also creating troubles for them. Why their parents were having? Because they were very poor. Whatever, things are related. Now, if you know the complete story, will you hate the person who is not behaving properly with you? No, you cannot hate anybody. Why you cannot hate? Because you understand the person is not behaving right with you because something has caused it. And if you know the cause, वो तो सिर्फ effect है ना, वो तो सिर्फ effect है. Example, a girl or boy you like very much, they leave you, they have left you. Now you are in pain, suffering. But if you know Buddhism, if you know Pratitya Samutpad and everything, you understand कि उन्होंने आपको क्यों छोड़ा. Maybe they understood that you are not compatible, or maybe they were having trust issues, or maybe they were having some problem in their earlier relationships. And when you say why they were having problems, because there were some psychological trust issues. Why there were some psychological trust issues? Because their family was having these issues. Why their family was having these issues? Because of this. And when you understand their behavior is just what? Just an effect, which is nearly inevitable because of the causes it have. Can you stop the milk from turning curd? No, it will turn to curd. Can you stop water from flowing? No, the nature of water is to flow. This means you have to understand. So when you understand the whole chain, when you understand the whole Pratitya Samutpad, you can't hate anybody. And can you love anybody? No, because you also understand people are loving you for a reason, because you are serving them some purpose. अगर आप उनके लिए कोई पर्पस सर्व नहीं करते तो वो आपको प्यार भी नहीं करेंगे. You just see, है ना, you just see why a person is loving. Then there is a cause for loving also. When you see the cause for loving, they are loving you for this reason. And why this reason? Because there is a cause. Done. And at the end you find, अरे ये तो प्यार भी सच्चा नहीं है, ये तो प्यार भी जरूरतों का है ना. This love is also based on some causes. And the moment you realize this, there is a detachment from the joy of tranquility itself. आपको खुशी भी नहीं हो रही, अब आपको दुख भी नहीं है. You don't have happiness, you don't have suffering, you are at peace. You just understand things. Now things are happening the same as it is. People are still misbehaving, people are still loving you, people are doing this, that, and everything. But what has changed? You have understood the reality. You have understood that things are happening because they are linked to a cause and chain effect. And because things are linked to a cause and effect chain, what you need to do, you just need to understand the reality. And the moment you understand the reality, that things are temporary, momentary, nothing is permanent, not even love, not even parents, not even friends, not even this life, nothing is, not even soul. Nothing is permanent. Your iPhone, it will get destroyed one day. The relationship you are having, it will end one day. And when you understand this, you achieve the stage of nirvana or perfect wisdom. And this is the concept of nirvana. From here, after Samyak Samadhi, one enters the concept of nirvana. What is nirvana? Nirvana, according to Buddha, is blowing out. So a person was in the cycle of, so why was a person in the cycle of birth and death? So this is the person. This person is doing some karma, accumulating certain karmas. Now, because of these karmas, there will be some sanskar. From these sanskars, there will be a new birth. From this new birth, again, there will be sensual pleasures, there will be attachments, and because there will be attachments, there will be clingingness, and at the end, there will be again a new birth. So the sanskar of this birth will again transfer. So this will keep going on till the time, supposedly at this stage, a person decides to understand the truth and reality. Then he sees Pratitya Samutpad. Sorry baby, बच्चों ये मेरे ना गला बड़ा खराब है, इसके चक्कर के अंदर ना okay. So Pratitya Samutpad, then Anityavad, then from Anityavad, Shanikvad, and when they understand all of this complete chain and you follow the eightfold path, you break the chain. अब आपका दोबारा rebirth नहीं हो रहा. क्यों नहीं हो रहा? Because there is no attachment. And it is like the flame. Now this flame is not lighting another flame. Rather, you just blow it off. आपने फूंक मार दी. And the moment the flame is gone, the moment the flame is gone, where did the flame go? Did it go to the heaven? No. Did it go to the hell? No. Where did it go? East, west, north, south? No. कहाँ गई? Just चली गई. खत्म. End. Just went away. It goes away. Bas. Blown off. This means the existence, the consciousness blows off the moment sanskar, the balance of sanskar has ended. जैसे ही आपका बैलेंस जीरो आएगा, आपके संस्कार का बैलेंस जीरो होगा, तो ट्रांसफर करने के लिए कुछ है ही नहीं ना. What will get transferred? Because the only thing that was getting transferred was this sanskar or imprints or blueprints. But if there is no blueprint, if there is no balance, what will get transferred? Nothing. This means it ends. And this is the concept of nirvana according to Buddhism or Buddha or Hinyan Buddhism. Now, when there is nirvana, is Buddha talking about happiness in his nirvana? No. Is there suffering in nirvana? No. Is there existence in nirvana? We don't know. कोई बात नहीं करी है बुद्धा ने इसके बारे में. But later on, schools will talk about all of these things. वहां से problem शुरू होगी. लेकिन the Buddha's philosophy is this. Now let me take your doubts. Practical application of four truths, noble truths is Samyak Sankalp. Yes. Ma'am, we know all cells replaced after 7 years. Is it for a particular cell replaced or all cells replaced at the same? No, cells replaced one after another, not all at the same time. But yes, after 7 years, all the cells get replaced, and actually we have no cell remaining in our body which is from the past. Buddha's enlightenment is immediate knowledge. Yes, the moment you realize the truth, realize this Pratitya Samutpad. So reading Pratitya Samutpad is something else, but realizing it is something else. Nishkam Karm, okay, this is the understanding. Requires a lot of awareness and attention. Can we say these are standing marker ethics of Buddha? Yes, absolutely, Pratibha. We can use them in our ethics also, and these are the ethics given by Buddha. Harshdeep, equanimity. Yes, absolutely. Ma'am, is it possible that a person has achieved nirvana but again gets attached or nirvana is a permanent state? Aman, according to Buddha, nirvana is a permanent state because the moment you blow off the flame, आपने एक मोमबत्ती ली उसे बुझा दिया. अब उस flame को दोबारा वापस ला सकते हो क्या? Can you bring that flame back? If you light a flame, it is a new flame, remember. But you cannot bring that flame back. So nirvana, according to Buddha, is permanent. But ma'am, when someone forces us to do something directly or indirectly, then at that point, what to do? Even knowing all these 8 marks, we sometimes do that pressure, do the things in pressure. Example, maybe pressure some seniors in our, maybe pressure from seniors in any service. You know why we come under pressure? Because we want something. Maybe we want appreciation. Maybe we want, good behavior from them or something else. You know why people become corrupt in services sometimes? Because they are not able to understand कि ये 2-4 seniors को please करके कुछ नहीं होगा. Does it affect your spiritual health if you please 1 or 2 people? No. Is Buddha saying that we should please people? No. He is saying that we should be worrying about our own suffering. If we become If we do things under pressure, our mind is not at ease. We are continuously in guilt. We are continuously in thinking something or the other. And if we are thinking something or the other, if you are continuously in guilt, can you meditate? Can you understand the Pratitya Samutpad? No. This means that if you want to have, if you want to remove suffering, this means you must start detaching yourself. नहीं चाहिए अच्छी पोस्टिंग, नहीं करनी करप्शन, क्यों नहीं करनी? अच्छी पोस्टिंग में भी क्या ही होगा? So that kind of detachment, if you have that kind of detachment, nobody can force you to do anything. Nobody, because you get forced because you want something from them. You yourself are bound or attached to some aspects. Thank you, Arpita. Pratibha. Is sanskar is just one last birth or combination of all previous births? So sanskars are the imprints which carry on from one birth to another. All the births will create their own sanskars. This means whatever you do, all the karmas that you do get imprinted. And those imprints get transferred after death to a new body. So the teleology of Buddhism is to attain nirvana only. Yes, of course, Navneet. Is this nirvana within this life? Yes, it is nirvana. So nirvana and parinirvana are two things. Nirvana is when you understand the Pratitya Samutpad, but still, so Buddha had attained nirvana, but he still continued for many years teaching his own philosophy. Why? Because he has already done some karmas which he needs to repay. Till the account, abhi supposedly Buddha ne 100 karmas इकट्ठे कर रखे. And at this stage he attains his enlightenment. Enlightenment हो गया. Now he is not collecting because he has known the truth. अब उन्हें truth समझ में आ गया. He understands the truth. Therefore he is not collecting new karmas, but he has to repay these 100 karmas. Therefore, even after enlightenment, the Buddha will exist. Why? Because to repay this 100 karmas. Even after attaining Buddhahood, he still got pricked by pin. Still, he met with pain. Pain in the sense physical pain. But why was this pain? Because these were the karmas he had to complete. But was he troubled by the pain? No, because he was already detached. And once this balance becomes zero, parinirvan matlab death, gone, nirvan, completely gone, blown off. So जब हम enlightenment वाला जो निर्वाण है उसको क्या कहते हैं? जीवन मुक्ति. Within life there is this mukti or nirvan, and after death videha mukti. जैसे हमने फर्स्ट क्लास में करा था इस कॉन्सेप्ट को, videha mukti. That is, body is also gone. No body. Now nirvana is simply nothingness. Yes, Arpita. Yes. That is why it is a negative connotation of liberation. जब हमने liberation किया था तो हमने दो concept पढ़े थे, positive and negative. Negative interpretation of liberation. This means there is no suffering, but there is no happiness also. There is nothing. Ma'am, is Buddha symbolized as chakra because of the cycle of past, present, and future life that he described? We can say that, but apart from that, the chakra is signifies the dharma chakra parivartan. Dharma chakra parivartan means when Buddha gave his teachings, when Buddha gave his philosophy, he turned the wheels of whole philosophy. उन्होंने धर्म की कॉन्सेप्ट, धर्म एज अ मॉरल साइंस को भी उन्होंने टर्न कर दिया है ना. उन्होंने सारी चीजों को टर्न करके रख दिया, पूरा साइकिल चक्र को घुमा दिया. In that sense it is taken. Atul, then can we say, ma'am, Gautam Buddha rejected the concept of heaven and hell? Absolutely. He did not accept heaven, hell, soul, God, any such thing where nothing is existing. Yes. Rohit, ma'am, attachment to nirvana itself makes sanskar blueprint. Yes, that is why at the end you see, in the third step of samadhi, or in the third step, we are even detaching from the tranquility of peace. जो चाहत है, this want of nirvana also has to go. So the moment that want, that desire of nirvana, that peace of nirvana is also gone, you achieve nirvana. If Irfan, ma'am, so with nirvana, there will not be any sanskar which will travel, so suffering will end. Yes, absolutely. Perfect. Ashutosh, ma'am, don't you think these philosophies excessively dependent on explaining the cause and make you think that you can't do anything, just making you feel satisfactory rather than doing something which is in your hands? No, actually, they help you do things because, देखो, if something uh, supposedly your phone breaks today, है ना? Or something very expensive breaks today, or somebody very close to you cheats you, what will happen? Suffering, suffering. Now, this the one reaction can be you start crying, you start being angry, this and that. One way. Another way is you understand that things are impermanent. You don't crib about it. It's okay. It would have gone in some years. It went today. It's okay. Impermanent सा चला गया. And with this, your response. So earlier you were reacting. Now you are responding. The difference between reacting and responding. So what is response? It's okay. You are not cribbing, you are not crying. You are just okay with it. It's okay. अगर चला गया, useful चीज थी चली गई, कोई बात नहीं. You are not unhappy. You are not suffering. You are not crying. That changes. You know. So it's just the response that gets changing. It is not saying कि आप काम मत करो, किसी की मदद मत करो. No, you can do that, but again, not with the want, not with the attachment. This means this is an interpretation. This means currently you are attached to your family. If something happens to your family, you cry. A lot of people are dying in Gaza Strip. A lot of people are dying in Israel, Ukraine, Russia. Are we crying? No. Why? Because we are not attached. So you help everyone around you, but not with attachment. So Buddhism is about you don't stop doing things, you don't stop serving. You do that, but without any attachment, without any desire for praises. When you help somebody, don't expect praise according to Buddha, because the expectation of a praise is again a attachment that you have. So you have to move beyond that. Is nirvana a kind of ayoga kevali? Absolutely, absolutely, Irfan. Aman, ma'am, is it impossible to achieve nirvana while we are alive? If so, that would mean Buddha himself did not achieve nirvana while he was alive. So the enlightenment. No, I told you na. Nirvana in life is possible. Jivan mukti. So sanskar of Buddha will never get birth again. Yes, according to Hinyan. Can someone get attached to something even after getting nirvana? No, because blowing off, flame चली गई ना, तो कैसे attachment होगी? How can they get attached? We know so meditation is a phenomena that can be done with eyes open. We can say that. Do we need to learn the cycle and every block of it? Which cycle? Atul, I'm not able to understand the question. Yes, you will have to learn the Dwadas Nidan. All the 12 chain, the cycle or the chain that you have, Dwadas Nidan, you will have to learn that. Because if the question is on Pratitya Samutpad, you will have to make it. Definitely you will have to make that. Yes, you will have to learn it. Dwadas Nidan. Okay? So with this, Ashtangik Marg is complete. After this, Buddha, whatever Buddha said is completed. Now we know the philosophy of Buddha. Buddha talked about four noble truths, Pratika Samutpad, Anityavad, Kshanikvad, Sanatanvad, Sanghatvad, Pudgal Niratme, Dharma Niratme, Niratmavad, and the 8 Ashtangik Marg and the concept of Nirvana. Nirvana का concept कैसा है? Negative Nirvana, in the sense that just as a lamp blows off, similarly, according to Buddha, our existence ends after this. Khatam. Ekdam. But after Buddha died, his disciples wrote things about him. And even whatever I am teaching you, you all people are listening with your own biases. The same thing is interpreted by you differently because we learn with our own biases. We learn with some prejudiced minds. किसी ने पहले कुछ पढ़ रखा होगा, किसी ने पहले कुछ सोच रखा होगा, किसी ने कुछ देख रखा होगा टीवी में. And when I say something, you interpret it according to your understanding of things. आप उसमें fit करने की कोशिश करते हैं. Similar thing happened when Buddha gave his sermons. His disciples listened, but after Buddha was gone, his disciples started writing what Buddha said. But because they all were having their own prejudices and biases, they wrote with their own prejudices and biases. And that is why so much difference is found in what Buddha said. So much interpretation is found. After Buddha died, there were 4 Buddhist councils that were held. This will come in the part of your this will come as the part of your ancient Indian art and culture portion. You will study about 4 Buddhist councils. So 4 Buddhist councils में क्या हुआ? Interpretation. So in first there was this split between Theravada and Theravada and Mahayana. In the sense, what is Theravada? Theravada क्या था? वो पुराना orthodox. The people who wanted to commit or wanted to continue to live with the philosophy of Buddha. कुछ लोग थे जो बुद्धा की ओरिजिनल फिलोसफी को फॉलो करना चाहते थे. थेरावाद. Thera means stable, stagnant. They wanted to. But some people, some teachers, some Buddhist scholars, monks wanted to reinvent Buddhism. They wanted to have the liberty to interpret Buddha's silence in their own way. They wanted to know, they wanted to discuss metaphysics or metaphysical questions. जबकि बुद्धा क्या थे? Metaphysical questions पे शांत, silent. But these people wanted to discuss. And because these people wanted to discuss, they started writing. And now there were clashes. So Buddhism divide हो गया 2 के अंदर. है ना? अच्छा यहाँ पे इसमें नहीं है. तो बुद्धिज्म क्या था? डिवाइड हो गया 2 के अंदर. उसके बाद किसमें डिवाइड हो गया? फिर डिवाइड हुआ हिनयान महायान के अंदर. Why? Because again, Hinayanists wanted to remain close to the Buddhist teachings, but Mahayana wanted to make it more people friendly. If you tell people you cannot get attached to anything, things are temporary, they feel sad. And if you tell them you are gone after death, after nirvana, everything is gone, will they want to pursue nirvana? Blowing off, you will not exist after nirvana. Is it a good conception of nirvana? Is it the very popular? Will it get popular? No, because we all want to exist forever. डर लगता है सबको non-existence से. That is why Mahayana interpretation was more people friendly. लोग क्या सुनना चाहते हैं? You know what सच क्या है वो छोड़ दो, लेकिन लोग क्या सुनना चाहते हैं? लोग सुनना चाहते हैं that religion can help them. And if you follow religion, all your sufferings will be gone. There will be people, Devi, Devta, Ishwar, God, who will come to their help, who will come to help their daily tasks, who will come to help and remove their suffering. Supposedly they want a job, the God or the Bodhisattva can help them get a job. They want to get selected, Bodhisattva can get you selected. If they want to remove a disease, Bodhisattva can remove it. So what are this? People want help. What does people want? People want existence forever. They want to understand that even after nirvana, they will exist forever. And will they exist? How do they exist? Do they exist without sadness and without happiness? No, they want to exist in happiness. They always want to remain in happiness. तो ये चाहते हैं लोग. तो बुद्धिज्म की इनिशियल टीचिंग्स क्या थी? Close to Hinyanist. But people wanted this. So Mahayana became very close to the people's desires. And this schism was created. ये एक divide create हो गया between Hinayana and Mahayana. Hinayana क्या बोलता है? Very close to Buddha's teaching. There is Pratitya Samutpad, there is Anityavad. Things are impermanent. Because things are impermanent, therefore we should not get attached. and because we should not get attached, we should understand this thing. And nirvan means, nirvan का क्या मतलब है? Flowing out, blown off, बुझ गया, खत्म, end. लोगों को पसंद नहीं आया. Can a God help? God तो है ही नहीं. Can somebody give you your own karma? Can somebody bless you with something? Can somebody help you get a job or anything else? No. ऐसी कोई कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं है यहाँ पे. लोगों को मजा नहीं आ रहा था ये वाला बुद्धिज्म पढ़ के, तो उनको लगा कि कुछ तो री इंटरप्रिटेशन करना चाहिए. तो आया, उन मॉन्क्स ने क्या स्टार्ट किया? इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ बुद्धिज्म इन देयर ओन अंडरस्टैंडिंग, विच इज मोर पॉपुलर विद द पीपल. महायान. जैसे ही महायान आया, बुद्धिज्म बिकेम रियली पॉपुलर. रियली पॉपुलर इन द सेंस, बड़े बड़े किंग्स ने इसको सपोर्ट करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. Patronage after patronage. Big viharas were formed. Big monasteries were formed. And in those monasteries, riches were found. खूब अमीर हो गए monasteries. और क्योंकि बिल्कुल एकदम परफेक्ट जो सॉल्यूशंस लोगों को चाहिए थे वो महायान बुद्धिज्म दे रहा था. That is why Mahayan means lot of people can travel. Maha मतलब big, yan मतलब vehicle. So bigger vehicle, lot of people can travel. Liberation of all. सबकी लिबरेशन पे फोकस करता है ये. यहाँ पे लिबरेशन ऑफ सम. कैन डू ऑल द पीपल, can all the people digest and adjust to Hinianist ways of philosophy? No, only few can. Only few can overcome attachment. Only few will want to be ending like this. This means this Hinianists remain very limited in their approach and nearly ended. बहुत कम है अभी भी Hinianist. सबसे ज्यादा क्या मिलते हैं? Mahayanist. ठीक है? So first division that we hear about is Mahayana and Hinayana. Let us see. After Buddha's death, there arose various conflicts among his disciples. As Buddha had maintained silence over various metaphysical and epistemological questions, there are 14 antinomies. Antinomies means conflicts, which arise from the intellect to explain these avyaktanis. Avyakrats भी बोल सकते हैं, but avyaktani is a better word. Avyaktani मतलब means not. व्यक्त मतलब speech, जिसको बोला नहीं जा सकता. Something which cannot be told about, which Buddha did not say about anything. Avyaktanis or inexplicable. Various schools of Buddhism arose, more than 65 sects, which gave their own metaphysical and epistemological explanations. खूब सारे schools create हो गए बुद्धिज्म में, क्योंकि बुद्धा साइलेंट थे, बाकी सबने अपना इंटरप्रिटेशन चालू कर दिया. The 14 major avyaktanis are 1 to 4. We cannot say whether the world is finite. तो पहली क्या थी? तो 4 क्वेश्चंस थे जिनके ऊपर बुद्धा ने कभी जवाब नहीं दिया. बुद्धा remained silent. First was, so if you go and ask Buddha, is the world finite? He will smile and say, nothing. Is the world not finite? Buddha will not answer. Third, is it both finite and infinite? No answer. Is it neither finite nor infinite? No answer. Similarly, if you go and ask him, is the world permanent? Not both, neither. No answer. Similarly, when somebody went and asked, is Tathagat is the other name for Buddha after enlightenment. So, will Buddha exist after Nirvana? He will not answer. Will it not exist after Nirvana? Buddha will not answer. Will it be both existing and non-existing? No. मतलब कोई जवाब ही नहीं दिया बुद्धा ने इन सब बातों का. Similarly, the last 2 questions are whether matter and mind are identical or not. Some said matter and mind are identical. लोगों ने उनसे जाके पूछा, सिर्फ आत्मा है क्या? जो ये चीजें दिख रही हैं, जो ये मैटर दिख रहा है, जो ये टेबल है, क्या ये भी आत्मा है? Is it also soul? Buddha did not answer. Are they different? Is matter and soul different? Buddha did not answer. Now, when Buddha did not answer these 14 questions, what led? Wrong interpretations. Some people criticize that Buddha did not know the answer. उन्होंने कहा कि बुद्धा ने क्यों साइलेंट थे बुद्धा? तो किसी ने कहा कि बुद्धा को पता ही नहीं था. कि ये इन 14 क्वेश्चन का सवाल जवाब क्या है. बट इज इट पॉसिबल कि बुद्धा को नहीं पता था? Buddha was an enlightened person, and the kind of wisdom he had, he understood there are certain things which you cannot tell because the reality is really complex. If you try to tell people that आप मेटाफिजिकली कुछ भी बोलो, क्या आप बता सकते हो मरने के बाद कोई इंसान एग्जिस्ट करता है या नहीं करता? Can you tell this? Nobody can tell this because after death we don't know, and because we don't know, we can never know. अगर आप बोलोगे भी तो लोग नहीं विश्वास करेंगे. They will always have counter arguments. And this is why Buddha did not want to enter that realm where there is counters or these things. Rather, he just wanted the people to focus on the core issue. The core issue is not metaphysics or epistemology. The core issue is suffering. That is why he wanted the people to focus on suffering and not on metaphysics. That is why he remains silent. So some people wrongly interpreted कि बुद्धा को पता नहीं था, या फिर वो उन्होंने इसलिए नहीं बोला क्योंकि उनको partial knowledge थी, या फिर बुद्धा skeptic थे. But none of this is true. Rather, why he did not speak was is most positively interpreted as he did not want to indulge in metaphysical question, as according to him we should focus on removing dukkha. And what was his way? His way was Apodipo Bhava. Apodipo Bhava, very, very useful philosophy. Use in your essays, use in your ethics, and of course, in philosophy, Buddhist questions, you will have to write it. Whenever there is this question of reason or logic in Buddhism, Apodipo Bhava. Buddha said, create your own reason. हमने वो फर्स्ट स्टेज पढ़ी थी जब हम मेडिटेशन कर रहे थे, रीजनिंग एंड इन्वेस्टिगेशन. बुद्धा सेज रीजन योरसेल्फ. अपने आप से रीजन करो, अपने आप से ढूंढो, इन्वेस्टिगेट योरसेल्फ. डोंट ट्रस्ट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, डोंट ट्रस्ट व्हाट एनीबॉडी एल्स सेइंग. सर्च एंड फाइंड द ट्रुथ, क्रिएट योर ओन रीजन. यू शुड बी योर ओन लैम्प. अपना अपना दीपक खुद बनो. डोंट बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन एनीबॉडी एल्स. आपो दीपो भव. Be dependent on your own self. If you want nirvana, then investigate first, inquire first. आपको मिल रहा है ना नirvana? आपको मिल रहा है ना selection? आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा. You will have to study. And if you want to get selected, should you be dependent on anybody else for your selection? No. You should be dependent on your own self. So his theory is Apo Deepo Bhava. Fine, let me take the questions. Ma'am, has Buddha talked about how these Panchskandha are formed? According to Buddha, the entire world is made up of these 5 principles or 5 things: Roop, Vedana, Vigyan, Sanskar, and Sangya. So, material objects and our body itself is made up of Roop, or form. All else, all the 4 are something which gives us identity, the name. How can backlog Sanskar be removed in Buddhism? By following the eightfold path. So once you understand, your attachment stops. So when your attachment stops, the karma you do doesn't give results. Like अगर आप बिना किसी attachment के कोई कर्म करते हो, if you do action without any attachment, then it will not have positive or negative effect. उसके अंदर आपके अकाउंट में कुछ भी नहीं जाएगा, because like in law. So if you have heard that while we study law, they always search for something which is known as mens rea. What is mens rea? Mens rea is intention. आपने कभी अगर कोई थ्रिलर्स मूवीज या ये सब देखा होगा ना, वो हमेशा क्या करते हैं, इसने ऐसे क्यों मारा होगा. They want to know the intention. Why they want to know the intention? Because intention is very necessary to put the blame, very necessary. So the intention is very necessary. Similarly, action is not important. Intention is. क्या आप attachment में आके कर रहे हो? This means that if you are taking care of your family just because you are attached to them, some kind of karma is being created. But if you are not attached and if you are caring about all the people in the world just out of mercy, not attached. No, no, it's like even if you are taking care, you are not attached to them or to anything else, not even to the praises that you will get. And this kind of actions will not yield karmas. आपके अकाउंट में कुछ इकट्ठा या बैलेंस या नहीं होगा. So it is said that if you are attached, then your seeds you sow will turn into plants. अगर आप attachment के अंदर काम करेंगे तो आपने बीज बो दिए. तो जो soil है वो क्या है? Attachment. But if you are not attached, the seeds actually are becoming fried. Fried मतलब आपने अगर seeds को fry कर दिया तो वो plants देगी क्या? It will not sprout. It will not turn into a fruit. So when you start working in without attachment, you actually fry your seeds. You actually fry your karmas. You don't need to weigh them. Understand in a simple language. Does Dalai Lama included in Mahayana or Hinayana? What do you think? With all these monasteries and other things? Like early Wittgenstein about metaphysics. Yes, okay. Dalai Lama follows Tibetan Buddhism, which is considered to be associated with Mahayana and also Vajrayana Buddhism, of course. Anybody, Hinayana Buddhism will never have big monasteries, big riches, big rituals, no? वो लोग कैसे होंगे? बुद्धा की close teaching से. If everything is impermanent, if everything is क्षणिक, will they build such great structures? वज्रयान is the तांबे को हाँ ये सब तो बुद्धिज्म का ये सब आर्ट एंड कल्चर का पार्ट है. This is not our syllabus. Mihi, that means Mahayana not given by Buddha, it is given by their disciples. We can say Mahayana is the interpretation of Buddhist teaching by his disciples. K. Mrinalini. People might misinterpret his words on metaphysical understanding. Also, he might be like, come to this point and see it yourself. Yes. Self-dependent, yes. Rohit Rai, is the concept of Panchtan similar to the concept of soul of Jainism that they are already present? No. Concept of soul in Jainism is eternal soul, eternal permanent soul. Whereas soul of Buddha is temporary, made up of 5 constituents. Anand was the Hinayanist or Mahayanist. Anand was the disciple of Buddha and he wrote what Buddha said. Major things that we, subscribe to Buddhist teachings are things, but again, हमारे पास वो भी documents नहीं है जो आनंद ने लिखे हैं, है ना? वो भी हमारे पास original नहीं है, वो भी सब उनके interpretation से हमें मिलते हैं. After getting nirvana, soul blows up. It is then is that only body existing? Body disintegrates. वो जो 4 तत्व हैं, air, water, fire, and earth, they go back to the earth. Go back. Ma'am, may you please explain the third point of critics? Third point क्या है? Buddha was skeptic. So skeptic is that there is nothing. We cannot know anything. है ना? Uncertainty. Everything is uncertain. But this is again not the possibility. This is wrong. Skepticism is a philosophy where everything is accepted to be uncertain. लेकिन क्या बुद्धा ने बोला सारी चीजें uncertain है? No. He said temporary. Everything is momentary. दोनों वर्ड्स में अंतर है. नेकी कर दरिया में डाल used to hear in childhood. Yes, Atul, something like this. How does Buddhist send emails with no attachments? Ashutosh, you don't have to give such, lame jokes here. Atul Shah, okay. Okay, fine. So let us start with schools of Buddhism. Do you people have notes, right? All people have notes? Fine. I cannot turn this page now. Okay, fine. Leave it. So according to Buddhism, या हम लोग लिख ही लेते हैं ना, तो बना लेते हैं, हमें तो आता ही है. So Buddhism got majorly divided into 2 schools. First is Hinayana, and second is Mahayana. And Hinayana means lesser vehicle, less people will be able to follow because they were more strict. And this Hinayana was again divided into two major schools. First is Vibhashika or Vaibhashika, and second is Swatantrika school. Those schools हैं. So let us understand Vibhashika and Swatantrika. First, let's understand the Hinayanist way. So Hinayanists were the people who accepted the world to be real. तो उनका मेटाफिजिक्स में कोई डाउट ही नहीं था, है ना? इनकी मेटाफिजिक्स एकदम क्लियर है. मेटाफिजिक्स में ये लोग क्या कहते हैं? वर्ल्ड इज रियल and all the things that we see are real. This means this pen is real. What is it made up of? It is made up of atoms or pramanus. These atoms or pramanus have very different momentary qualities. सबकी qualities क्या हैं? बहुत changing है. जो qualities are momentary. हर पल ये atoms जो इसके अंदर हैं और जो उसकी qualities है वो change हो रही हैं. And we are also the संघात of we are. So gross things. चीजें क्या है? Material things क्या है? Collection of atoms of momentary qualities. And what are humans or what are the living beings? Human beings are collection of 5 skandhas. And these 5 skandhas are also continuously changing. Fine. There is no confusion regarding metaphysics. These two schools actually fought on epistemology. दोनों यही बिलीव करते हैं, लेकिन epistemology, how can we know the reality? How can we know? How can we have knowledge about the world? इस पे ये लोग लड़ लिए. Now they fought because of this. Now Vaibhashika says that we know the world because we can perceive it. This means we can know the world by perception. We can directly perceive things. I can directly see this pen and know that this is pen. I can directly see it. This is because they accept perception. Directly they accept perception. Therefore, this is known as Bahaya Pratyakshvad. Bahaya. Bahaya matlab outside, external. Pratyakshvad. Pratyaksh matlab perception. Bahaya means external. External world is known through perception. Vad means theory. Theory of knowing external world through perception. Bahaya Pratyakshvad. So this pen is real and I can see this pen through perception and know it. Simple. Vaibhashika. Perception is there, accepted perception. But Swatantrika rejected perception. They say, now things exist for a moment. क्षणिकवाद है. क्षणिकवाद मानते हैं ना Buddhism. So क्षणिकवाद accepts that things exist for a moment. Now, in this moment, if your sense organs came in contact, in the next क्षण this thing will change. ये तो change हो गई ना. So in one क्षण, sense object contact was there, and in the next क्षण, from this sense object contact, you created an image or you did a inference. आपने एक inference किया और ये आपकी knowledge बनी. So you know the world through inference according to Swatantrika. But is it based on perception? क्या हम directly perceive कर सकते हैं किसी चीज को? Swatantrika says no, because the thing has already changed. अगले पल तो वो कुछ और है. आप उसे directly perceive कर ही नहीं सकते. आपने इसे देखा इस क्षण. In this time, when you have sense-object contact, you do inference that the thing, the sensations I have got must be this. But in the next moment, the thing has already changed. This means the world you know it through inference. And when you know the world through inference, they say the reality is known by Bahai. How is the external world known? Anumay. Anumay means Anuman. Remember in Charvak we studied Anuman? Anumay. What? So the world is known through inference and not through perception. फिर काउंटर होगा. ये सब डायलॉग में चल रहा है. All of this is done. Now, Swatantrika are criticized by Vaibhashikas, and Vaibhashikas, they give their own defense. They say inference is based on, देखो बाह्य अनुवादवाद नहीं हो सकता. क्यों नहीं हो सकता? Because inference is based on व्याप्ति, and for व्याप्ति we need perception. Vyapti can only be based on perception, rather inference requires perception. So to make inference or to make Vyapti, we need perception. Therefore, perception to accept karna hi padega. You cannot move beyond perception. You will have to accept perception. बस यही है वैभाषिक और स्वतंत्रिका, और यही हमारा सिलेबस का पोर्शन है. That what is the debate between Vaibhashika and Swatantrika related to the knowledge or related to the epistemology. Because metaphysics, they both accept the same. They both accept the same metaphysics. What is different? The epistemology. This epistemological understanding is different in both Vaibhashika and Swatantrika. This is what we have to study. Fine. एक बार पढ़ लेते हैं. Irfan, as it can cause effect, is that's why it is real. Yes, of course. Like flowing water. Yes. Let us read. ये चार्ट आप पढ़ लेना, है ना. चार्ट ऐसे let us see. I can't make it tilt, है ना. तो इसको ऐसे ही पढ़ लो. आप लोगों के पास तो होगा अपने अच्छे से. व्याप्ति and perception connection. Arpita, you will have to refer to the Charvak. Vyapti requires perception. If you do not perceive smoke and fire together, how will you make a Vyapti? To make Vyapti, you will have to make make a Vyapti, you will have to perceive smoke and fire together. Right? So you cannot form Vyapti without perception. Perception is the basis, first step. Okay. So Vaibhashika is known as Bahya Pratyakshvad. Now they accept that reality, which is both mental and non-mental. Non-mental मतलब material things होती हैं. Non-mental मतलब mental मतलब material things. Non-mental मतलब material things होती हैं. Mental मतलब the पंच स्कंद और consciousness, ये उसको accept करते हैं. Temporary soul को accept करते हैं. ठीक है. Temporary soul has been accepted by these. So Swatantrika accepted perception or not after countered by Vaibhashika. Of course, nobody will accept anybody, but we just have to give arguments. Vaibhashika is epistemologically similar to Charvak. No. Ashutosh, this Vaibhashika people say that perception we will have to accept perception, but they are not denying inference. वो inference को deny नहीं कर रहे हैं. वो कह रहे हैं perception जरूरी है. Perception is required even to make inference. While Swatantrika is accepting not perception but only inference. That is the problem. So Bhai Pratyakshvad of Buddhism is similar to Moore and Kant. ये हमारे Western philosophy के हैं, बच्चे समझ पाएंगे अभी के लिए. External objects are directly perceived. If external objects are not perceived, then they cannot be inferred as well. This means we have to. Oh, mental and non-mental is non-mental मतलब material things. Material things मतलब pen, paper, table. Non-mental means panchkan, temporary soul that we have talked about. है ना? That is mental. So according to Heinyanist, both things are real as well as temporary soul is real. Khatam. This is mental and non-mental. This philosophy of Vaibhashika is known as epistemological realism. Epistemological matlab we can know. Realism matlab things exist for reality. We can directly perceive them. Epistemological realism, also known as gross realism. एक ही बात है, different name in different English, same meaning. Presentative realism, again different English. Presentative मतलब things are presented directly and we can directly perceive them. ये सब perception based है ना. Pluralist, if we have all the things are real, then how many things we have? Many things. Paper, table, chair, different anus, different items. So pluralist schools. This is Vaibhashika. है ना, इसको पढ़ लेते हैं. हेनियान वाला पढ़ लेते हैं, फिर हम सर्वस्तिवाद is another name for Hinyan Buddhism. Fine. So Hinyan Buddhism, it is the smaller vehicle, orthodox conservatives, theras or schools of elders. They consider Buddha as historical man who was born, lived and died as normal human being. ये लोग बुद्धा को एक normal human being मानते हैं, normal human being. That Buddha was a person who was a human, and because of his wisdom, he achieved a understanding of the reality and achieved nirvana. But they consider Buddha to be human, normal human. But Mahayana Buddhism उनको क्या बना देंगे? Nearly भगवान, very close to conception of God. According to Hinyan Buddhism, what they want to attain is arhathood. Arhathood. Arhathood is a word which is matlab, ari means enemies. So according to Buddha, who were the enemies? All the desires and attachments, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Maya. These are the animals. Hath means the one who has killed or destroyed. Hood मतलब तो वो व्यक्ति जिसने सारी अपनी desires को destroy कर दिया है, वो अरहत बन जाता है. So in Hinyan Buddhism, what they want to achieve is ideal. They want to be, devoid of these desires and attachments. They deny soul or a permanent substance in everything, but believe in dharmas or elements of existence as real, the qualities of existence as real. तो ये लोग परमानेंट सोल को डिनाई करते हैं और सिर्फ धर्मास को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं. It is realistic and pluralistic school. Realistic because they accept things are real. Pluralistic because things are so many, therefore they are pluralistic. So it's just that putting your understanding into English, nothing else. Hinyan is also known as Sarvastivād. Everything is सर्व. अब देखो इसको तोड़ के देखते हैं क्या आता है. Arhathood means Buddhahood, nirvana. So the one who has destroyed all the desires becomes nirvanist, becomes Buddha. Or Arhat, a different name they have taken up, nothing else. So सर्व मतलब क्या होता है? All. In Hindi, सर्व means all. Asti मतलब exist. Vad matlab theory. So theory which says that all exist, all things exist. This means table, chair, pen, paper, mountains, rivers, all of these things exist separately and they are real. They are not dependent on anything else. They are real. Similarly, हमारी जो temporary soul है, it exists. It exists and it is real. जो consciousness है वो है. So Sarvastivadins transformed Buddha's no soul concept into philosophy of Pudgal Niratme or non-substantiality of everything. Therefore, things are mere connections of dharma. So, जो Pudgal Niratme वाला concept है, वो Sarvastivadins ने सबसे ज़्यादा utilize किया है. Material things are collections of 4 items. इन्होंने items accept करे, मैंने बताया था, है ना? Material things के अंदर इन्होंने क्या accept करा? इन्होंने subatomic particles accept करेंगे. इसको इन्होंने क्या बोला? परमाणु. अणु के भी परे means smaller than anu. Pramanu. And when these pramanus are having what? Dharmas are what? Qualities. And these qualities are the permanent qualities or no? These qualities are momentary or changing. And when these pramanus come together, they form what? Anu or atoms. Now these atoms, because they are made up of qualities which are momentary, these are also having dharmas and qualities which are momentary. And when these anus or atoms come together, they become what? Gross objects. Gross objects क्या? Pen, paper, table, वही सारी चीजें. अभी gross objects के अंदर भी धर्म है, qualities हैं और momentariness है. Simple. And this concept, and these particles are made up of how many types? These are made up of 4 major types: earth, water, air, and fire. 4 चीजों से बने हैं ये सब atomic particles. 4 types के हैं. And living beings, ये तो सब क्या हो गया? रूप का पार्ट. रूप मतलब फॉर्म का पार्ट. रूप किसमें मिलता है? मटीरियल बॉडीज में भी मिलता है. सो रूप इज फाउंड इन मटीरियल बॉडीज एज वेल एज बॉडीज ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग. हमारे बॉडीज, हमारे पास भी तो बॉडी है ना, उसमें भी मिलता है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, व्हाट आर द फोर अदर थिंग्स? वेदना, विज्ञान, संज्ञा एंड संस्कार. All these four plus the bodies, roop and the naam together form naam roop. What is this naam roop? Naam roop is identity of us. So Tanu क्या है? Tanu एक identity है. Naam roop with the body with all these four things. All of us are what? Naam roop. Simple. But material bodies are also temporary and changing. Naam roops are also material and changing. They are also momentary. This is how they have accepted. Fine? Okay. So let us understand the metaphysics of Sarvastivad. Before we understand the metaphysics of Sarvastivad, let us also, I'll also tell you that this Hinyan and Mahayan, they are very different in their understanding and interpretation. Hinyan एक तरीके से प्रतीति समुत्पाद को इंटरप्रेट करता है. It interprets प्रतीति समुत्पाद in a particular sense. It interprets Anityavad in a particular sense, and it interprets the liberation in a particular sense. Now, Mahayana interpretation of Pratitya Samutpad is very different. Very different. Their interpretation of Anityavad, very different. And their concept of liberation, very different. बहुत अलग है, बहुत अलग है. So when we will complete these, we will also see what are the various interpretations taken up by them. Buddhism is, there are only two Indian philosophies which are very elaborate and very different. And only two. One is Buddhism, second is Vedanta. सिर्फ दो ही philosophies हैं जिसके अंदर बहुत content है. Content in the sense कि questions भी थोड़े advanced आ जाते हैं और उसमें हमें पढ़ना भी बहुत है. बाकी सारी philosophies तो छोटी छोटी सी philosophies हैं, छोटी छोटी सी, उसमें ज्यादा कुछ है भी नहीं, है ना. तो इन छोटी फिलोसफीज के अंदर तो हम लोगों को ज्यादा एफर्ट भी मारने की जरूरत नहीं है. लेकिन बुद्धिज्म एंड वेदांत डेफिनेटली वी रिक्वायर टू अंडरस्टैंड थिंग्स. आप देख भी रहे होंगे, है ना. देयर आर द कॉन्सेप्ट्स. तो जब हमने जैनिज्म एंड चारवाक पढ़ा, कॉन्सेप्ट्स वर सो सिंपल, बट हियर बिकॉज ऑफ दोस इंटरप्रिटेशन थिंग्स हैव बिकम अ लिटिल मोर which require understanding. Fine. So metaphysics. According to metaphysics of Sarvastivad या फिर metaphysics of Hinyan, same thing. According to both Vaibhashika and Swatantrika school, both external world and material objects as well as consciousness are real. वो हमने देख ही लिया. They have accepted both as real. Second, according to Sarvastivad, everything is made up of dynamic pramanu or subatomic particles, which itself is the smallest unit of existence. परमाणु इज सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स. अगर साइंस में बात करें तो मे बी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स और मे बी स्मॉलर देन इलेक्ट्रॉन. फाइन. So they are the smallest unit of existence which are imperceptible. Can you perceive electrons? No. Or any such thing which is smaller than that? No. But they are momentary. They change. They are changing at each moment. Momentary. And this is true by science also. Science also accepts that the states within these subatomic particles change continuously. Continuous change of state is there. Momentary. And Pratitya Samutpad is related to cause and effect. So ये जो परमाणु है ये किसके अंदर आते हैं? प्रतीत्य समुत्पाद के अंदर. प्रतीत्य समुत्पाद means there is a causal link. One state of these subatomic particle causes the another state. Another state causes the another state. So the states between these subatomic particles are linked together. Now the each subatomic particle has numerous dharmas or qualities. ये हमने देखा है ना. Sorry, these परमाणु join to form aggregates of atoms. तो ये बहुत सारे subatomic particles एक साथ आ जाते हैं और क्या बन जाता है? Atoms और परमाणु और अणु. And when these अणु aggregate themselves, they become things. ये दोबारा से थिंग्स बन जाते हैं, कॉन्शियस या मटीरियल, दोनों में से कोई से भी बन सकता है. And now with these Pramanu, there are numerous qualities that we have. And these qualities, कहाँ से आती हैं qualities? Swalakshan. This means the qualities are within those subatomic particles itself. These are the initial qualities they have. कहीं से आती नहीं है. There, it's the natural qualities they have. And these Vaibhashika and Sautrantrika has accepted two types of dharmas or two types of qualities, Sanskrit and Asanskrit dharma. Sanskrit means wherever the prakriti samutpad is applicable. हर चीज पे applicable है प्रकृति समुत्पाद, हर चीज पे cause and effect applicable है. All things come under the ambit of prakriti samutpad or cause and effect or linkages, except two things which are Asanskrit dharma, that are Nirvana and Akash. According to Buddha, there are only two things which are permanent. There are only two things, Nirvana and Akash. Akash means space. Space is permanent. Space कहीं नहीं जा रहा, है ना? Nothing is happening to the space. Space is neutral. And another thing that is permanent is Nirvana. Simple. Now this Sanskrit and Asanskrit dharma, it's a little more detailed that is there, but these are words that may be, utilized somewhere. That is why I've given it to you. Both Vaibhashika and Sautrantrika school accept momentary next, except अनात्मवाद, संघातवाद, सनातनवाद, ये हमने देख ही लिया. और धर्म के कॉन्सेप्ट हमने बता ही दिया था मैंने आपको पहले ही, है ना? धर्म और स्वलक्षण और the qualities as Buddha accepts, it is not religion. धर्म का एक इंटरप्रिटेशन रिलीजन भी होता है ना? धर्म का एक इंटरप्रिटेशन राइटियसनेस और मॉरल्स भी होते हैं. धर्म का एक इंटरप्रिटेशन हमने जैनिज्म में पढ़ा था, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ मोशन. But in Buddhism, dharma means quality or existence. Things which have qualities or that have existence. Dharma, in simple terms. So first school that we have to study is Vaibhashika. Any doubts till now, or shall we start with Vaibhashika? किसी बच्चे को कोई डाउट तो नहीं है? Shall we continue? Okay. So वैभाषिका, अब वैभाषिका एक बार समझ लेते हैं. वैभाषिका का नाम वैभाषिका क्यों पड़ा? Why was it named Vaibhashika? There are theories, conspiracy theories. Some say that Vaibhashika means a language which was different from the normal Sanskrit, therefore it was known as Vibhasha, and therefore it was simpler than Sanskrit, therefore it was known as Vibhasha, and therefore this theory which used that language is known as Vaibhashika. Second says because the theory was later written in dialogue format, therefore it is known as Vibhasha. Some say that because it is based on Abhidham Sutra. So there is this Abhidham Sutra on which Vibhasha philosophy is based. That is why it is known as Vibhas or Vibhashika school. But exactly हमें नहीं पता why is it called Vibhas, because different scholars give different interpretations. You have to understand that Buddha, whatever Buddha said, we could not write. We have no record of it. After that, his disciples wrote, but we have no record of it. Now, the translations of Chinese scholars, like this Abhidham Sutra, we don't have original copy, which is the original text of Vibhasika school. We don't have the original copy. From where have we got the information about Vibhashika school and the Abhidham Sutra? From the Chinese translations. So a lot of Chinese scholars used to come to India and understand and discuss Buddhism. And from their translation, they translated a lot of scriptures and texts. From their translations, we got to know about the teachings of Vibhas. So we don't have original texts. That is why when we read, we have very little content over Vibhashika school. Abhidham is the book, or what you say, the text. And so there are 3 pitaks. अब आप लोगों ने वो पढ़ा नहीं है ना अभी culture. So there are 3 pitakas or 3 books, just as there is Bible. in Christianity, or Quran in Islam. Similarly, the three major books that are considered in Buddhism are three Pitaks. You know, one of the book name is Abhidham Pitak, and this Abhidham is what we are talking about. Pratibha, of course, if they accept क्षणिकवाद, of course they accept अनित्य आत्मवाद. अनित्य आत्मवाद तो बहुत ही डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड है हमारे प्रकृति समुत्पाद से. They accept it. So Vibhashika is named as Vibhashika as they believe in the text Vibhash, which is written commentary on Abhidham. तो एक टेक्स्ट लिखा गया था, उसका नाम विभाष था. शायद इसलिए इसका नाम विभाषिका पड़ गया. So these are all conspiracy theories. Nobody is going to ask you this. We have just given you for your understanding. Maybe sometimes you talk to some other people, so you must have some knowledge. They accept the reality of material as well as consciousness, conscious dharma, or conscious existence, right? Which can be known through direct perception, that is बाह्य प्रत्यक्षवाद. तो हम ऑब्जेक्ट्स को और कॉन्शियसनेस को कैसे जान सकते हैं? हाउ कैन वी नो कॉन्शियसनेस एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स? डायरेक्टली थ्रू आवर परसेप्शन. दैट इज व्हाई दे आर नोन एज बाह्य प्रत्यक्षवाद. द इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ नॉलेज, हाउ डू द नॉलेज फॉर्म? सो कैसे नॉलेज बनती है वैभाषिक स्कूल के हिसाब से? अकॉर्डिंग टू वैभाषिक स्कूल, first we have nirvikalp. Nirvikalp means, so the moment you see, the moment you open your eyes, you start seeing something. The first impression is kuch hai, there is something, but you are not very clear what it is. Then your mind becomes operational and put the sensations into a particular category. Like you see something white, and then you see that white thing moving. You don't know what is white and white thing moving, but then your mind perceives and puts it under a classification. Oh, this is a white cow moving. There is this, or white flag. So you put the thing into a particular knowledge base. आप उसको एक category में fit करते हो. And this is cervical. So first sensation, which are undifferentiated, unqualified, जिनके बारे में मतलब जो अभी तक किसी ढांचे में फिट नहीं हुए, something which has not been put up in a structure, those raw sensations, nirvikalp, then we put them into particular structure that is in our mind, cervical knowledge. And this cervical knowledge is accepted by Vaibhashika school. Now similar thing has been accepted by Kant in Western philosophy. This cervical and nirvikalp sensation we will also study in our Nyaya and Mimamsa school. So this has been the structure in which how we perceive the world. So according to Vaibhashika, if you want to understand Vaibhashika in completeness, so Vaibhashika is a Hinayanist school. They accept that world is real, things are real, consciousness is real. And all of these things are made up of small pramanu, which are momentary, which have many changing momentary dharmas or qualities. And because the pramanus have changing momentary qualities, things have changing momentary quality. Consciousness is changing momentary quality. Therefore, everything in the world is changing. How can we know this world? How can we know this changing world? We can know this changing world by perception. And how can we perceive things? We perceive things in two stages. First, we see things as raw sensations. Then our mind categorizes them and puts it into a knowledge, which is cervical knowledge. So nirvikalp and cervical knowledge. This is how we perceive things. This is the epistemology or metaphysics of Vaibhashika. Very simple. But this will be countered by Swatantrika school. Now, Swatantrika school is having the same metaphysics, but they contradict what? The epistemology of Vaibhashika school. किस चीज में point of difference है? Epistemology. Metaphysics में कोई difference नहीं. Epistemology में difference है. According to Swatantrika school, not Swatantrita, it's Swatantrika. Swatantrika school, knowledge about world or objects cannot be attended by perception, as this goes against the theory of momentariness. मैंने बताया ना, क्षणिकवाद is not directly in line with perception, according to Swatantrika school. According to Shanikvad, anything can exist only for a moment, while to know a thing through perception requires at least two moments. One is the moment of perception, other is the moment of knowledge. एक मोमेंट में आप परसीव करोगे, एक में आप नॉलेज बनाओगे. एटलीस्ट दो मोमेंट तो चाहिए. एटलीस्ट यू रिक्वायर टू मोमेंट्स, निर्विकल्प एंड सविकल्प परसेप्शन. Two moments are definitely needed. When we get knowledge of the object has already changed. जब तक हमें knowledge मिलती है तब तक तो चीज बदल चुकी है. Because it's the changing state, continuously changing. Till the time we actually form the cervical knowledge, the thing itself has changed. Now, you don't have direct knowledge of that thing, but the image that has been formed, उससे हम knowledge बना रहे हैं. चीज तो बदल चुकी है, but जो impression वो छोड़ के गई थी, the impressions we are interpreting or making an inference based on those sensations. Another moment of knowledge, in the moment when we get knowledge, the object has already changed and not real. And before that object decays, it leaves the impression on perceiver, which are sanskar or impressions. On the basis of these impressions, we make inference about an object. Therefore, we can know things by inference only. That is, Bahaya Animyavad, ये मैंने आपको बता ही दिया. That Sutantrika school accepts that we can know things only by inference और Bahaya Animyavad. और चार एसेंशियल कंडीशंस इन्होंने क्या बताई हैं? इन्होंने सविकल्प निर्विकल्प भी बताया है और चार एसेंशियल कंडीशंस क्या बताई हैं? There should be an object, there should be a mind or a consciousness, there should be sense-object contact, and there should be auxiliary conditions like light. So even if you have object, mind, senses, everything, but if you don't have light, you will not be able to see. So all these four conditions are met, then we can, if all these four conditions are met, then we can make a proper inference based on the sensations that we get. ये हमने देख लिया. And lastly, defense by Vaibhashika. Now again, Vaibhashika will defend themselves because they say that inference is based on Vyapti, which can be formed only through perception. Because if we have never perceived fire and smoke together, then we cannot form Vyapti. And we cannot make an inference. Therefore, ultimately, knowledge is based on perception. We have to just understand these people have become more focused on metaphysics and epistemology, for which Buddha was not inclined. Buddha was not interested in doing metaphysics or epistemology. Buddha was only concerned with suffering and how to remove it. That is why, in the most important thing in Buddha's theory is Pratitya Samutpad, Anityavad, Shanikvad, and Anatmavad. And lastly, the way, the Ashtangic mark, how to remove the suffering. Yehi most important. Fine. But you see, when we are studying this Tantrika Vaibhashika, these people are they talking about suffering? No, these people are talking about how we can know the reality. What is reality? This means they have deviated from the original teachings of Buddha and rather started focusing on metaphysics and epistemology. Isn't it? So we don't have to take sides whether Vaibhashika was right or Sutantrika was right. We just have to understand that they are trying to interpret the Buddha's silence in their own ways. And when they are criticizing, they are just trying to emphasize their own correctness. क्योंकि पुराने जमाने में मैंने बताया था, है ना, कि क्या होता था? The disciples of a person who used to win a shastra, who used to win the philosophical debate, used to get the disciples of others, and everybody wanted to take disciples of others. More and more disciples, more influence. Fine. So let me see. Hinyan accepts Anityavad, Shanikvad, Anatmavad, Sangatvad, Sanatanvad, all of them, Pratima. Mind coordinating with sense is cervical knowledge. Yes. Ma'am, Mahayan schools. Kal karte hain. Okay. Are you people exhausted? Is it that difficult? It's not that difficult, but yes, we can do tomorrow. है ना? No problem. ठीक है, वी विल कंटिन्यू महायान टुमारो। ठीक है, वैसे भी महायान थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है नॉर्मल सोचने के तरीके से। वी विल रिक्वायर, बट यू विल हैव टू रिवाइज एंड कम। फाइन, यू विल हैव टू रिवाइज एंड कम टुमारो। आप लोगों का टेस्ट कब रखें? Just hold on. Lot of comments. रुको 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 रुको। Ma'am, should we write in our answer that Hinayan accepted Anatmavad or Amitya Atmavad? दोनों. So Anatmavad is the popular name given to his theory by the critics, but actually his philosophy should be named as Anityatmavad. Write this. Irfan, do not engage in these unofficial telegram groups or all these things, because when there is some problem, we are not able to handle it, right? So we do get complaints from students if there is something wrong in unofficial groups. That is why we don't entertain such groups. Fine, don't make such unofficial telegram groups. If you have any problem, ask your coordinator. He will help you. Ma'am, can you please split the word Samudir? Means Sandhi Vichhed of Samudir. Ma'am, shouldn't we spell Charvak as Charvak? Shouldn't we add H with the same question for Yoga Chakra? You can do it. There is nothing wrong with it. So I'll tell you, there is this transliteration thing. Transliteration says that if we want to read this word in correct pronunciation, then actually CH is not correct. It is CA. But again, both are correct. Nothing wrong. अगर आप वो वाला भी कर लेते हो तो कोई काटेगा नहीं. Also, in many places, we have been using S in the place of SH. So, ma'am, I doing a lot of spelling mistakes because what I'm pronouncing is not matching what I'm writing. You can do, but yes, there is some transliteration, which we will do at the end of the course, because I don't want you people to become, confused in these spellings at this stage. You can write whatever you want to, but whatever, it's just practice. आप चारवाक को चारवाक की तरह से भी लिखने लगोगे, CAR से भी लिखने लगोगे, तो प्रैक्टिस में आ जाएगा. There is no problem. है ना? सामुदय is like, सामुदय का जो छंदे विच्छेद है वो एग्जैक्ट नहीं है ना, because the words were written in Pali language. While we studied them, and this Pali language was translated into Sanskrit and later on in Hindi, and from that Hindi we translated into English. So we don't have the exact word for that, but it means everything has a pause. Ma'am, time management is getting difficult. Why? But yes, you will have to manage. Time management is difficult at all the stages. Selection stage, preparation stage, after selection, working stage. You will have to take care of your time. Protect your time. So divide your time properly. Be focused. It's not about reading or studying for 20 hours. It's about, even in your 8 or 10 hours, you should be more and more focused. After Buddhism, we will start with Sankhya school, Sankhya Yoga, Nyaya Vaisheshika, Mimamsa Vedanta. This is the sequence we will follow. मैम आपका जब मन करे. ओके. आप बताओ कब करें. What is 10th October today, ना? Tuesday. चलो मैं आपको कल बताती हूँ टेस्ट के लिए ना. कल मैं आपको फाइनल डेट देती हूँ आप लोगों के टेस्ट के लिए. बुद्धिज्म भी कंप्लीट हो जाएगा तब तक. So we will have the test of Charvak, Jain and Buddhism. And the top 3 people who high scorers will get a complete coffee with me, and I will help them make their philosophy strategy. तो आप लोगों की philosophy strategy बनवाऊंगी 3 बच्चों की मैं full with GS strategy, है ना. तो इसके अंदर अच्छे नंबर लेकर आने हैं. Auxiliary condition is supporting condition like light. So your vision is not directly dependent on light. आँख ही जरूरी है vision मतलब देखने के लिए, लेकिन बिना लाइट के आँख नहीं देख सकती. You cannot see without light. So light is just an auxiliary supporting condition. Keep test whenever you convenient, ma'am. Thank you. I'll tell you the date exactly. Ma'am, will you take test of Buddhism also? Yes, let's take the Buddhism test also, है ना? You should try to use blue pen and give headings with black pen, Shivani. Ma'am, Sunday, because someday we have test in college on some presentation. Monica, we cannot change the strategies according to the one student, but yes, uh, we will try to accommodate. You know? Okay, bye, students. You know, let's meet tomorrow. Tomorrow we will finish Yoga Char and start with Shunyavad. But remember, Yoga Char and Shunyavad are little mind boggling. है ना? सबसे डिफिकल्ट बस वही होते हैं. यही दो तीन चीजें हैं जो डिफिकल्ट है पूरी फिलोसफी में. अगर ये समझ आ गई, बस बल्ले बल्ले. Okay? Bye bye. Irfan, okay. Yes, he's naughty. Okay. Yes, you can use. Vanshika, you can use both black and blue pen. Bye bye, my kids. Let's meet tomorrow. Bye bye.